Hello everybody. Good morning or good afternoon or good evening, depending on what time it is for you, where you are. Happy Wednesday. Welcome back to a fresh, bursting from the soil of winter's growth. It's not springtime yet. Hi, how you doing? We're going to Freehold. I got 17 characters that can do this, and I am lacking one parrot mount. This is a flight path mount. That's also the wrong color. Do not let yourself be fooled. New wig, hello? Top of the morning. I thought, seriously, about setting up sub goals to reveal new wigs, and then I thought, nobody cares. Just put the wig on and then turn on the stream, and then you will be green. It'll be like a spell. Level of Frost Mage, been having a blast. Healer Mage, DPS, C's. Channel point reward. We have been blessed by Miss Kira. You're gonna die when you see the other one. This one's cute, but this one's basically the first wig, but in green. The other one's something else. Good evening, friends. Mermaid vibes. Eventually it's gonna turn to a game of guess the hair color for today. Who is gonna die? All of you. It's gonna be a terrible choice for my business and well-being. There'll be nobody left to watch. Everyone's gonna be deceased. Katari, thank you for the 32-month resub. Just call me the Forever Lurker. Hope you have an amazing day. Give pets to Moose and Kira. Will do, will do. Green's my favorite color. It's fine. Subs auto-renew. Not prime subs. Prime subs, you have to press the button every month. Hi, kitty cat. How you doing? It occurred to me as I was shopping for wigs that I was gravitating towards hair that I have, had in the past. And this is nothing if not my 2019 fall look, the one that I wore to BlizzCon. Got something other than you telling me how to play WoW better. Happy to meet you, big fan. Welcome, Bindi. At least you don't use a green screen. Yeah. Any indication on how many you got? Prime subs? Or something else? It must be something else. Oh, wigs. Currently 3, eventually 5. So right now there's one mystery wig in the closet that you have yet to behold. Time walking going on for the normal raid item chest. Ho ho ho. Steph the Bee, thank you for the 45-month resub. Appreciate it, Steph. On the edge of my seat. You may need to remain in the edge of your seat for I don't know when and for what I shall unleash it, but I was just moving Scary out there. I wasn't ready to run it on her yet, just because I feel like I should have an order to the characters I do this on, perhaps. I just, a lot of those characters, I wanted to move some of the Horde ones out, back to Freehold, because I had moved them to I'd moved them to Onar and Plains to do the Gale Spirit, but we now are the proud owners of a Gale Spirit, so we no longer need to farm it. Haha, take that, RNG. So yeah, the Alliance characters aren't too bad of a run. The Horde ones, yeah, just this one, because the rest of them are all still in Tierguard Sound. And stick Allison in a flight path too. What is the plan today? Oh, you know what I should do actually, is I should maybe start running so I can get my instance lockout rolling, because we have managed to hit instance cap doing this before, and it's going to be faster today because to hit instance cap because I have characters that are already out there. So what I should do... Oh, to heck with it. Let's just do it on Scary. Allison has such a cool mug. What streams are we collecting and how are we doing it? We're collecting Hazel's stream. Mine. And, it's the only one I got. I, thought about streaming SOD, because I am leveling a Warlock in SOD. But I just don't know. I guess my heart's not in it if I'm this on the fence about whether or not I even want to turn it on. She needs to hit. I mean, need is a strong word. If I want to raid with the guild, then I need to hit 25. I think I'm on the fence. It's a twice a week lockout. I mean, it's not like the raid takes forever to clear or anything like that. But I'm apparently very on the fence about the whole business, despite the fact that I have started leveling. We're going to make sure we're on Mythic, and then we're going to zone in and go kill Harlan. And then any other bosses that may have Mog for me. So if on a plate character, I still want to do Council of Captains and Ring of Booty just for a couple of Mog chances. Is it bad that we're this late into the season and I'm still debating a main? Nah, I think you're fine. I, for a brief moment, misread your comment, and I thought you said you were deleting a main. And I thought, well, it's a strange point in the season for that.
What's your step?
Normally, I reserve all of my main deleting activities for solidly between patches, so you have time to, like, make a new one.
What's your step?
Get it all set up and stuff. That's funny. Nah.
What's your feet?
Some people never... I mean, the concept of a main is only useful... Well, these guys aren't having a good day. It's only useful insofar as it, you know, does you any good. There's no... It's like, the reason I like having a main is so that my raid leader knows who I'm gonna bring to main raid, basically. It's the character that I know I'm going to get all my gear on first, but it doesn't mean that, it doesn't really mean anything else. There's plenty of people that will play a couple of different characters all at around the same level, and they would be hard-pressed to define a main. Nothing wrong with that. What level are you on SOD? I'm level 10.
Danger.
I'm level 10. I'm in this awkward place where I need to basically just run around a lot. I need to go from Ironforge to Stormwind, and I need to get a bunch of runes. I need to, you know, work on like the Voidwalker quest and stuff. It's a lot of just travel time on your little short classic Season of Discovery gnome feat. She only has one rune. It's for Haunt. It's pretty good. Oh, I got the bracers, and on subsequent plate attempts, I no longer need to do Council of Captains. Haha. Alright. Hang on. Before I do Ring of Booty, I must turn on voice acting. This is the finest voice acting in the entire game. This is my opinion and also a fact. Audio. We need dialogue sound, and we're gonna crank it right up because it's my favorite speech ever. You can just enjoy it with a nice cup of coffee. Have you opened a new 6-month mount? I don't think I have, actually. There's a pet, too, right?
Gather round.
Alright, there we go.
Bets. We got a new set of competitors. Take it away, Gerthok and Woden.
That's your cue, landlubbers.
Ouch! Why'd you poke me? Oh, wake up, Woden. We're on.
Come on, say the things. Say the things.
Ouch! Okay. Gather round for a show of unbridled ferocity. Coming to you from parts unknown. The mysterious, the dangerous, the slightly unkempt, the band of smelly buccaneers. And entering the ring, we have the amazing,
So you send the pets for wrath only.
the incredible, the magnificent, the... What the... Really? It's a greased-up pig? I'm beginning to think this is not a professional setup. Oh, well, grab the pig, and you win.
Grab the pig. And you win. Cute wig. Where'd you get him? Oh, thanks. I'm still figuring that out. I'm brand new to the... I'm brand new to the fashion wig game. My pink one was from Amazon. This one and then another one that I got were from a Canadian wig shop. And then I've ordered a couple wigs from Lush Wigs UK that, assuming they make it across the border, I want to try out those too.
Well, look at that. They caught
Bought a token for Blizz Balance, wanted to buy it from the shop.
On to a more...
After a game restart, had it in my collection because apparently it counted for everyone who had the 1 year sub in October. Yeah. Well, now you got some extra balance for next time.
Makes it his duty.
Wish it was an actual mount and not a dragon riding one. Yeah, I think that's going to be a distinction for not an insane amount of additional time, right? Like, it's not changing in 10 to 5, but, you'll be able to actually, I don't know how it's going to work. We saw data mining to indicate that it was going to be a toggle, but I don't know if we know that, like, for sure. I'm assuming so. I have not seen the new Symmetra skin. That sounds cool, though. My gold is down to 100k. Oh, but you can always make more gold. Got in touch with Saga, been hit with Gnarly Cold. Oh, good. Oh, I'm glad to hear she's alright. Finally did the first production run of the project I've been working on yesterday. Didn't go as planned. I like that it's a dragon riding mount. I don't own it. Why? It comes with a 6-month or a 12-month sub, so if you are not on one of those, they might have stuck it on the shop too. Yeah, they did stick it on the shop, so you could buy directly off the shop as well, but it's included along with a 6 or 12-month sub. Alright, I would like some Sharkbait waders because I'm greedy. 10.25 next Tuesday? Yeah, but chat was telling me that 10.25, I mean, it's kind of like super semantics. 10.25's not adding like the ability to regular fly on dragon riding mounts. It's allowing the ability to dragon ride in the old world zone. It's not the one that lets you dragon ride on the old mounts that couldn't do it before. I thought that for a while, and then I had my heart broken because apparently that's not yet. I have to be patient and I have to wait. But yeah, you would think that you would still be able to, well, you would still be able to ride it in like an outdoor old world zone as a ground mount if you wanted to, because you would technically be able to dragon ride, and you can ride your dragon riding mounts in the ground, but I'm pretty sure it still wouldn't let you mount up on it in like, say, Freehold, because you can't fly on mounts in here. Actually, I don't know. It's a question. That's a question that I have no answers for.
Think you can stand against me, swine? Allow me.
So you will confirm be able to mount the dragon riding mounts for ground mount purposes, even in zones where you cannot fly.
Phase 2.
I'm not saying it's not true. I just don't know if it's true. I have no idea.
Phase
It also
3.
like super doesn't matter. I'm sure we're all gonna get from point A to point B. Any mount for me? Diddle-a-doo. Diddle-a-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Nope. DPK Joe, thank you very much for another 10 gift subs. You're up to a total of 55. Holy moly. Congrats to those who picked them up. Thank you. Alright. Wow. Would think so. Alright, well, I'm reserving a extremely tiny petty, I told you so, just in case, although I'm for sure gonna forget. Holy moly. How many attempts are we at on Sharkbait? Let's look at rarity if we can. Thanks, Joe. Audio, add-ons, rarity, open up rarity, mounts. You would forget it, I told you so. I mean, I haven't written it in my burn book. You know, the notebook that everybody keeps to track, pettiness? So, yet to make my entry into that. I'm looking for Sharkbait's reigns. Sharkbait's crackers? QRS Sharkbait's favorite crackers. Apparently I have 89 attempts. I know it's going to be probably more than that. And then the trick here is to not just AFK yourself in the instance and let it port you out. You want to have him port you out and then zone out, and that way it won't stick me back to Voldraken. I know the book. You're great now. For today. Thank you very much. Needy cat. It's funny, I used to wear my hair like this when I had hair. I used to wear it like this often with like big pieces on the side and then big chunky bangs. And I had kind of gotten used to living my life like that. But I'm out of practice, so whenever I end stream and I leave my office and I like grab some water or something before I take it off, I've been like walking into things, people, animals, doors, because I'm not used to having this much of my peripheral vision be blocked by hair. But that's when it's nice that you can just take it off. What are we doing? We are taking Inksy out to Voldraken. Oh, also, I need to check Vault. I didn't open Vaults. I also don't think I really have much for Vaults, realistically, but I might be able to take like a socket or something. Sounds like a Warhammer Dwarf thing. That universe, the dwarves have a book of grudges that they write down the name of anyone who slights them. Ah, yes. I'm pretty sure that my high school diary had some feature to that extent. Not the healthiest thing to do. A couple guildies decided to run Tazovish hard mode over the weekend. Ended up getting the mount drop. Matches my transmog perfectly, so I'm happy. Congrats! I still need Solia's gear glider. I need it. High school diary with names, very Death Note vibes. Okay. The Great Vault. Added with patch 10.0.2. I mean, my loot spec I'm pretty sure doesn't matter. I'll stick into Holy anyways. Nice register to work on forgiveness later in life. What'd you get? Champion stuff. I didn't do any keys, realistically. I did, I guess, you know what? I did those 4 Dawn of the Infinites. I did 4 Dawn of the Infinites. Hero belt. That's a hero staff. That's a hero belt. Yeah, we'll take another socket. I should probably just use the sockets I have and accept to myself that, Hazel, you're not gonna get myth track items this season in those slots that are socketable. You're just not. So stop holding on to 2 Nature's Cradles when you're wearing a lariat, you know? Just socket your darn gear. She's using Sensei's Nelthorites, especially when I have a raid tonight. So, yeah, there's only 2 pieces that could even take the darn thing anyway. So we'll stick one over there, and we'll stick one over here. And if we do get a myth track piece, then maybe I can take another socket next week, and it'll be fine. I'm gonna buy 2 Sensei's Nelthorites, and then I can move on with my life. Oh, I didn't even think of going log.
Ancient to trade. Needs to be
That's okay, this will be good for, I don't know, something. Raid reclear? We're doing an achievement run? I might bring my priest mate to the achievement run. That sounds reasonable. Might need something. Okay, so there's a socket on the helmet. I lost my jeb. I put it in my bags. There it is. Socket on the helmet. And then another one on this ring. Okie dokie. Freehold. Freehold. Let's just go Borealis and then fly. Yeah. So, I tried. You cannot ride dragon riding mounts as ground mounts. Oh. Rotation of World Quests is a good number of World Quests in Azerspan for magpies. Oh, Gold World Quests. Ooh. Good to know. Good to know. Coffee good. You guys can't. Well, you can see it a tiny bit. I was gonna say you guys can't see, but my kitty is being super cute, curled up in my lap. You can see the little corner of kitty cat's head. Little kitty cat ear. The extra comforter that I had purchased for my bed when I was determined that my partner and I were gonna sleep with 2 comforters. Now that I have abandoned that scheme, it is a surplus large blanket, and I ended up, for whatever reason, just folding it up and putting it on the floor, because I think I was sick of it being in the closet because it was in my way when I was trying to put all the Christmas stuff away. And Kitty discovered this comforter on the floor and thought, this is the finest bed I have ever seen in my catly days, and she loves it. So I think I had some notions about putting it on the couch. Or even in my office. I kind of want, I guess I could take that wool blanket from off the chair. I kind of want a blanket to like cuddle up with just while I'm streaming so that I don't, I mean, I'll still get equally cold, but at least I'll have a cozy blanket. But I think that blanket has to stay where it is on the floor because the cat has claimed it. That is for her. What do we vote for dinner, guys? Salmon, beef, or broccoli? Oh, salmon or beef and broccoli. Salmon and broccoli is a big favorite of mine. 3rd comforter for Moose to sleep with you. Moose is a bit of a blanket chewer. He likes chewing on cloth and fabric things, which means that he likes perforating blankets with enormous moosey holes. The blanket that lives on the couch right now is quite a wreck. It is in dire condition, but it was cheap, and I know that he's gonna do the same thing to another blanket that I put on there at this particular stage of his life, so I'm just letting it get increasingly ratty. Need to cook. I know that feeling. I finally made myself cook something yesterday. I made... Well, first of all, in the bread machine, I've been trying out different bread machine recipes. They've all been turning out amazing, so I'm in love with my new book. The one I made yesterday was a whole wheat toasted sesame loaf. And it was delicious. It was like super soft and super fluffy. And like a really nice kind of like toasty, wheaty sesame seed flavor. Lovely. And then I made, in my Instant Pot, some approximation of a Moroccan chickpea stew, and had that with the whole wheat sesame bread. And boy, oh boy, that was that. And I have leftovers. I have leftovers for today. It was amazing. Any ice outside this morning? No, but tomorrow night is when it begins, apparently. We've got 3 days in the forecast that could potentially be 3 straight days of snow. So I've spent the last, 3 days grocery shopping basically every day because I always forget something. Like we'll get groceries and I'll be like, are we out of coffee filters? We are out of coffee filters. Are we out of blanket? Oh, darn it. Like I've done a miserable job of doing inventory apparently because I keep coming up with stuff that I want. Also, even if it's snowing for 3 days, I can still like get to the store. It's not that far. I want the privilege of being able to curl up at home and go nowhere. How many loaves are you making per week? So in my defense, I'm only making the smaller loaves and I'm sharing them with another person, but I found that we can go through one of those loaves in 1 to 2 days. So I would say we're averaging 3 or 4 loaves a week right now. But I have all the ingredients and they're so easy. The one that, what was it called? It was like a shepherd's bread. And it had you like start part of the ingredients and then leave them in the machine for like 4 hours and then start the rest of the bread, and that one was good. It's kind of like a proto sourdough in that it's fermented a little bit and it's developed a little bit of extra character and flavor and then also developed the texture somewhat, but it's without needing to like actually like there's all kinds of different breads that are like in between a full sourdough and just like a plain bread, and this book has recipes for lots of them, so I'm excited. Yeah, with the Polish. It was really good. I kind of want to do it again. But I want to do different recipes every time. I think I'm going to skip past a lot of the white bread recipes just because they're really delicious white breads, but there's too many other exciting things and I want to like skip ahead and start getting to them because I feel like I have the foundational basics in measure things and put in machine. So I think I'm ready to jump in. Actively thinking about cutting bread out completely, cook in the evening, make enough for lunch the next day. There you go. Favorite way to make bread, makes an excellent pumpernickel. Every time it snows, I'm gonna say I'm gonna buy some cross-country skis, then after I go, it only does it every other year. I got time. Yeah, whenever there's like really intense weather, I do a similar thing of being like, well, if it's gonna do this, then I need better boots or like a different layer or like whatever it is. But then I remember that like we only get storms like that, like you're saying, like every year, maybe every other year. And I can survive just fine by just like piling regular layers under a rain shell. There's really no need to have like super intense cold weather gear. So I put it off for another year, which usually works out well for my wallet and also for my closet space. I've got unlimited closet space. This add-on is called All the Things. No luck. Attempt number 90th tracked attempt. And then Inksy does have to leave because she has a job. She has to raid tonight. She has to raid tonight. I have a raid clear tonight. I say completely, but really, I mean not every day. I think that's still meaningful though. I'm a big fan of giving yourself permission to cut back on something without cutting it out completely. Not everything has to be like a super black and white all or nothing challenge. Getting all transmogs, you can have it collect all kinds of stuff. You can have it show you what sort of mogs you need, mounts, pets, toys, other things like achievements, flight paths. You can have it show you all manner of things. To find myself storagely challenged. I received a number of coats. Speaking of coats, I received a number of coats and jackets for Christmas this year, and I'm thrilled because they're cozy and I love coats and jackets, but also I'm looking at my closets like, okay, somebody's gotta go. We gotta find an old one to rotate out and donate because this is unsustainable. Morales, that's right. Vaxerin, thank you very much for the brand new sub. Appreciate it. How am I going to do sports if I don't do it every day for several hours? It's funny, even after you feel like you've talked yourself out of a mindset like that, how sometimes it can still like linger with you. You know, you can like think of a concept like that and be like, well, that's silly. I'm not going to worry about that. Why have I gone here? This is a mistake. This was an absolute total mistake. Does she have a Freehold port, actually? I have a Freehold port. Mistake averted. Cured. 373 attempts in the Tombstalker. It's going to drop soon, right? Could do. 373. Grilled cheese sounds nice. The main drawback, I will say, about making bread at home, like fresh bread to eat instead of buying loaves of bread, is that when you are slicing your bread yourself, you make a lot of crumbs. There's a lot more crumbs just abounding. It's a lot, not a lot more work, but you got to be careful to like really get to the backs of and behind and underneath things that are in the area in which you are slicing and toasting your bread, because slicing up fresh bread makes all kinds of crumbs. Next run for sure. Got the Tombstalker on my 7th run in BFA. Don't hate me. Why am I enjoying this Encoan Wave Ray so much? When I got this mount, I thought, that's cute. I'm never going to see it again. And then, out of nowhere, it doesn't even really go with the Evoker. I like his little face. Look at his little face! It's doing it for me right now. Here, let's kill these things just to kind of sort this out. You just love little weirdos. What do you call on my Wave Ray? That's the happy ray. Soundless is the unhappy, angry ray. Oh, I might like that one even more. I don't have it though. I don't have it. How do you even brute force Soundless? You just move all your characters out there. You don't even. What's the point of moving all your characters out there? It's like a daily lockout, right? Because it's a rare. Correct me if I'm wrong, because I might be. If it's a daily lockout, there's no world in which you're going to catch a Soundless spawn on like 17 characters in a day. There's just not enough hours. Reminds me of the second expansion days, Burning Crusade. So many fun things in the game that you don't notice until you zoom in. Are you guys fighting me? I want to be not in combat so that my rarity doesn't do that thing. If the mount drops, I want my moment. I want the trumpets of victory to play.
Conceivable.
No, not that time. She can probably wait outside. I could have her and Veldraken making alchemy stuff, but there's no telling if I'm gonna actually do that this week. Soundless would be found, ping would go out, raid was up, and off you go. The Discord, yeah. But I'm not back in the day. I'm in current day. I might even be in future day by the time that I'm farming Soundless. Coffee good. And then she did it already, because I remember I got the plate stuff. That's right. All a matter of perspective and time travel. I mean, I'm an excellent time traveler as long as you're asking me to go into the future only at a very steady and predictable pace. Stream inspired me to start mount farming. Dear Lord, no idea where to start. The two things, assuming that you're looking for help, which it's totally fine if you're not. The two approaches that you can take, one of them is to figure out which mounts that you are missing that are most commonly owned by everybody else, because those are going to be mounts that are easier to farm generally. And Data for Azeroth can show you that. You can look up your collection data for Azeroth, you can filter it to uncollected only, and then you can sort it by how uncommon those mounts are and how many people have them collected. I did a video on that at one point in my life about how to find your next mount grind. The other thing that you can do that I've been doing lately is just pulling up my simple armory and then looking through that at the mounts that I'm missing, and then just kind of like browsing around until I find something that sounds fun. So I know I like farming dungeon mounts, so I just kind of poke around simple armory until I see dungeon mounts that I don't have. Reminds me of Legion or somewhere when you had that hair color. Yeah, I know I had it for the last BlizzCon before the pandemic because I took a selfie on the plane on the way there. And then also that was like the 3 months of my life where I had two opportunities that involved green screens in the only time in my life that I ever had bright green hair. And nobody has ever asked me to do anything related to a green screen since. How many years ago was 2019? 5? 4? And since then, not a single cause to use a green screen. I could have had green hair that entire time. It would have been fine, but nope. Impeccable timing. Does that mean she has Fellfire hair? Website gives you what to farm and how. Simple Armory can do that. The planner button on your mount collections page will tell you where to go for like instance farm mounts and stuff. The Morgue Donator, thank you very much for the 12-month resub. Just got both of the Glory of the Ice Crown Raider achievements. So happy. Congratulations. Thanks for the 1-year sub. Courtesy of stream delay. Corrupted by Fel. I figured this would be a great wig to wear whenever I'm playing a Resto Druid. I could just... what if I theme the hair to the character I'm playing? On Gnome days, I can wear the pink hair. And then on Druid days, I can wear the green hair. And then I don't know what character matches the third wig. What was the add-on again? Something? Anything? All the things. And then there's Simple Armory and Data for Azeroth are both websites. Is there purple? Maybe. What color is your third wig? What do you think of how Blizzard is doing tier sets for Season 4? I think it's brilliant, because if people hate them, Blizzard can be like, listen, this was your idea. You picked these sets. Wasn't us. You made your bed. You sleep in it. I think that's hilarious. I voted for the presets, and then I can't be bothered about the rest of them, but I voted for, apparently, I looked through the options, and apparently my favorite preset was the look from Season 2, and also the set bonus from Season 2. The look from Season 2 for Priest is winning by a long mile, but the set bonus is pretty closely, pretty neck and neck between Season 2 and Season 3, with Season 3 having a bit of an edge the last time I looked. For preset bonuses. Still waiting for the Caterpillar. Purple wig on all day. Season 2 Priest look is very good. It's hard to compete with. Plus, that's the set that I mixed with the Undead Heritage armor to make the look that Allison's wearing. People need another chance at it. The community picked Grimrail, which was fun, but they also picked a tree, which was cool.
Shockwave.
I feel like they're in the context of picking out individual class set bonuses and looks, though. Because it's less of a community-wide unified poll, it's harder... Not harder. I feel like there's less chance of it being trolled. I feel like people may be more likely to vote genuinely because people are more or less, I'm hoping, voting for specs that they actually play. Whereas I feel like with Grimmer, I mean, the tree thing, people were voting for a mount that they actually wanted. And I'm happy for them. I'm not sad about the Caterpillar at all. Where is your pet? So big, should be hard to miss. I don't think I have one summoned right now. Already seeing voting campaigns for people to vote for things they don't play. I might be having too much faith in the human race here. I think yeah. I mean, I guess people want to, curry support for the choice that they want. So maybe people would be reaching outside of the class community and be like, listen guys, we really need this one because my idea is right. And the other people that play my class can't be trusted to vote for the thing that is right. So let's, enlist the DKs or whatever. People definitely trolling. Worst case, game still fun.
Interrupt.
KB on Turtle? It's the bottom button on my mouse. In between the 0 and the equals button, it's the dash. But I'm not hitting it on the keyboard, I'm hitting it on my mouse. If I indeed hit it at all, which is not likely. Have you tried out the wooden dragon yet? I have not. I should take a look at it when we get onto our next character here. I wanna see what it looks like in flight. It looks cool. And you look. Nope, not that then. Attempt 92. I did get the new tree dragon. Season 1 were a little bland. I don't know if it's like this for the other classes, but at least for Priest, the Season 1 look and set bonus are both getting absolutely run down in the dirt compared to the other two seasons. It doesn't seem like very many people want it. I didn't play priest in the first season, so I like had to look up what the bonus was and what the look was, but it did not seem wildly popular. Okay. Do a little quick vendor. See if the bag's a smidge. Earn some extra dice that we don't need. Oh yeah, we ran 2 Miss Argaris, so we have a bunch of this stuff too. Don't need any of these. Don't need these. I don't think I need that mirror. I have a hero mirror, so we can just vendor the old mirror. Feels weird. Oh yeah, that's my helmet enchant, that's right. Oh yeah, and then I got my last toy, so I can delete any extra Dream Surge Coalescence. I no longer need any of that. Okie dokie, next character. I'm still grumpy that Season 2 Priest had Paladin mod. Most of the Season 1 looks don't really match their class. Yeah, the Primalist theming came through very strongly. Do you like that they're separating it by spec? Yeah, that's a good point. I like that too. The mages are beefing in the forums right now. What are people voting for? So for the last season of Dragonflight, they're allowing us to pick what our new tier sets are going to be by voting for the favorite look for the first 3 seasons and then the favorite set bonus from the first 3 seasons. And the set bonus is going to be chosen on a spec-by-spec basis. Not the look, just the set bonus spec by spec. So we're picking out like our favorite sets that we want to see return for season 4. The funny thing is, I mean, I guess people that are voting are probably planning to play in season 4, but it's encouraging to me that this many people are like invested in it, because there's also like a sentiment of like nobody plays season 4 at that point. You're just waiting for the War Within, and I don't think that can be true if we're all having feelings this strong about what the set bonus is going to be like. I don't think I'm going to play season 4 for like a super long time. I think I'm probably once again going to try to like just get my mount, get my achievement, get my portals, and get out of there. But that's just because I don't do any one thing for a terribly long amount of time. Allison needs to go all the way to Tiragard. Allison is going to go to Valdrakken. She's going to take the Horde portal. I'm speaking about her in the third person for unclear reasons. She was in Valdrakken, wasn't she? No, she can't have been. Anyways, Valdrakken, Drustvar, and then I'm going to fly is what I'm going to do. Veer, thank you for the brand new sub. Appreciate it. My apologies if I've mispronounced your name. Wonder what the dungeon rotation is going to be. I'm also curious about that. I think that can be true. And people just like to beef on the internet. People enjoying beefing on the internet? Say it isn't so. Oh, can't possibly be true. And then there's the people like me that just like to watch other people beef on the internet. To some extent anyways. I'm going to Valdrakken, that's right. Hunter Season 1 sets were winning last time I checked. Huggles, thanks for the brand new set. Appreciate it. Insert the I love Meskip here. I know exactly the one you mean, and it's my favorite, and not just because I'm an enormous Marie stan. Oh yeah, that's right. We do know the dungeon rotation. You're totally right. Yeah, the 8 Dragonflight dungeons. I don't think it's going to be Dawn. I think Dawn's taken a break. I think it's just the original 8. That's right. We knew that. That's not a mystery. Because I don't think they would run the same dungeon back to back. And we have both Dawn halves now. Alrighty, she's going to Drustvar. If I'm gonna keep these characters, and I think that I am, assuming that I keep these characters and I like level them up expansion to expansion, I don't just delete them and reroll everything, it really is in my best interest to at least unlock Dazara lore on my Horde alts so that they can, you know, go there and port and things. I don't have that many Horde characters, but I should probably do a little bit of BFA questing on them just to unlock these, because these kind of workarounds are inconvenient, and also you can't rely on this. This is something I can only do this season. Thought it was all the mega dungeons. They announced Dragonflight dungeons one more time? Wait, is it officially confirmed? See, now I'm doubting myself. I thought that they said we were revisiting the dungeons of Dragonflight. But I can't point to like a blue post where they like verbatim said it. Do you still have to unlock it? You just have to do like the intro quest, but it's just this annoying thing where if you port to Zarlor, which you can do, you can't pick it up. Like you have to start it in Orgrimmar, which means you need to find the right breadcrumb quest, and sometimes it can be phased by having the other quest or other, I don't know. It's annoying. It's always, always, always harder than I feel like it should be. And then if you want your boat to be able to port to the alliance zones, then you need to do at least the intros to those war campaign quests to get the boat ports. So getting to alliance zones for Horde, if you haven't done that campaign, sucks. Thought that was in the roadmap, just said revisited. Yeah. I think it was in the roadmap. If they keep doing season 4s like this, we need one where it's whoops, all hulls. Oh, that would be funny. They probably have enough hulls to do 8 of them, right? If we were guessing. I mean, we've got hulls of lightning and stone and infusion. Hulls, there were hulls in atonement, that's 4. Valor, 5. And then if we're allowing the hulls to be in other places in the world. Hang on. I'm gonna do a quick little scan for them. 6 if we're counting Sethic hulls. Seven is reflection. Because I did lightning and stone already. 8 is origination. Forgot about that one. Remember that? And then if we find another original hulls, then we can kick Sethic hulls off the list. Hang on a second. We did Valor. I completely forgot about Halls of Origination. Also, I don't know where I've gone. We did Atonement. And then we did Infusion. Yeah, so if we want 8, we have to count Sethic hulls. But we can get to 8 that way. Oh yeah, Scarlet hulls too. Scarlet hulls is like I mean, it's a classic. Scarlet hulls is like, hang on a second. If Scarlet hulls is called Scarlet hulls. Oh yeah, it is called Scarlet hulls. Yeah, there we go, there's 9. You can pick between Scarlet and Sethic hulls. What about Shattered hulls? Did I miss Shattered hulls? I did miss Shattered hulls. Yeah, there's a lot of them. Brand new mega dungeon. Halls of hulls. Halls of reflection. It's a flat out no. I am feeling nostalgic for Halls of Origination. I wanna look at those boss summaries and remember what on earth they were and what they did, because that is like a hint of a fever dream in my brain. I barely remember it. Dungeon difficulty mythic, very good. Why are we going over all the halls? Oh, just for fun. We were daydreaming about if they ever did a season where all of the Mythic Plus dungeons were halls dungeons, if we had enough halls dungeons to make 8, and the answer is yes, we do. Yeah, there's lots of temples as well. Are there as many temples as there are halls? It's a good question. Deck the halls to make all the dungeons with halls in the title max level. The problem is that some of the dungeons that have halls in the title are like not favorite dungeons of people. Here, Cataclysm, Halls of Origination. What are... First of all, there's 6 bosses. That's a raid. Second of all, abilities. It was the guy with the pit. I'm gonna look at these and see if this rings a bell, like the boss models. There's like Sandy Bonestorm. Like, if you told me that I imagined this dungeon, I would believe you. What did Amide do? He had seedling pods? And then Setesh and then Raj? I want to go farm this dungeon. Do I need any Mog from it? It's just Cataclysm Mog. What about on Heroic? Is there any loot that I need from any of these? Yeah! Something or another. I just want to look at it. I don't remember it at all. You go up the big elevator. What's the current quest for season 3? The current quest for season 3. I don't think I understand. Enjoyed that dungeon? I remember this dungeon because of BFA quests. Remember vaguely the first boss in challenge mode. Maybe it was a glory achievement. Didn't that dungeon drop a camel? If it did, I must have it already. I don't think so, though. I think I would have remembered it if there was a mount out of there. Can I Manga is the add-on that's marking things on a collected basis. It's great. Fight on the back of a camel for one boss. Oh, yeah! That's right. Man, that was... I need to see it. Where is it? It's in Oldham, right? It must be in Oldham. Well, if I run out of, I mean, if I run out of freehold chances, I'm also going to be locked out of instances, so I can't go do it then. It's a bit long if I can remember. 6 bosses is, like, a really awkward length for a dungeon, because it's too short to be a full 8-boss mega dungeon, but it's, like, really long for a non-mega dungeon. It is, it's the big pyramid dungeon in Oldham. Perfexia! Thank you very much for the 9-month resub. Oh, hey, we prego! That took me 3 times of looking at it to figure out. My first thought is, I'm not pregnant. And my second thought is, oh my goodness, you're pregnant. And then my third thought was, oh, it's a 9-month sub. It's the thing. I was about to congratulate you on your baby. Oh, man. Any luck with the mount? No? Okie dokie. Thanks, Morphexia. Oh, jeez. 3 of the bosses are optional. Should probably be mandatory Mythic Plus format. Guess we not prego anymore. A lot of bandwidth. 6 boss Mythic Plus dungeon would be hell. What is the longest Mythic Plus dungeon? How many bosses have they ever made us do? 5? I know there have definitely been 5 boss dungeons. Was there a 6 boss one? Yeah. Mechagon was split into 2 halves though, so each half was 4 bosses long. Theater of Pain at 5, yeah. That's kind of what I was thinking too. Okay. Alright, we're still taking characters out to Freehold, that's what we're doing. Don't want the newest Mega Dungeon any longer. I think they're gonna give it a break after this season. I think this is the... I like some things about it, but there's other things about it that I could probably do without. Okay. Barnacles. Barnacles should have a free teleport to Borellos just by virtue of being a Kultiran. Oh man! I always do that in the reverse. Like, I know I try to go in the Alliance portal area as a Horde, but it's not often I try to go to the Horde portal area as Alliance. We need another Violet Hold. Speak for yourself. Hello, Hazel in chat. Hello. We already have 2. There's 2 Violet Holds. That's like 2 Violet Holds too many. Any dungeon where you're waiting for the next trash pack to spawn in, not my cup of tea. Even if it's the exact same amount of time, or indeed faster than running to the next trash pack, the agency that I feel from piloting my own character from one pack to the next feels a million times better than standing by a thing waiting for somebody to summon the next trash. So yeah, no Black Morass Violet Hold, not for me. When else have they done that? Was it just those ones? Maybe Midnight will give us another Violet Hold. Love Black Morass. I like that it had crocodiles. I don't know why I enjoyed that, but it just seemed, I don't know, appropriate. It's the swamp, it's got the crocodiles, what's not to like? Durnhold. Durnhold, at least you're moving around though. You're not just like stuck in a room. Yeah, the Hygel raid is special for sure. Hi, kitty cat. Welcome back. How you doing? Wow. need a request next mobs button. What if it's spammable and then I could just forget what we're doing and then like hit it 9 times and then spawn the next like 4 packs of trash? I love cats. You cozy? It's the one problem with the idea of getting super snuggled up with a blanket in this chair is that you gotta make sure there's room for the kitty cat to jump up and down. I have the Dragon Soul mounts already. I have both mounts from there. I even have the mount for getting all the other mounts. I have the Awake the Drakes mount. When did I farm those? I feel like was I streaming when I farmed those, or did I farm those off stream? I might have farmed those mounts before I got super into streaming. Make sure we're on dungeon difficulty mythic. Very good, very good. Alright, Harlan. 2 from last boss and experiment? Here, I'll take a look at the journal. So experiment 12B is from the Lesser Cache of the Aspects. Blazing Drake is from the end. Lifebinder's Handmaiden, also from the end. And then there's the Glory Mount. And then there's also the Awake the Drakes achievement one. Where is Awake the Drakes? It was some kind of a drake. Emerald Drake, maybe? Yeah, from the Drake collector thing. Check out the new wood dragon. Yeah, it looks nice. It's cool. You can't mount on it here though. Dragon riding only. I keep forgetting to look at it in between characters. Aren't you due for a big streaming anniversary? Am I? How would I know? Do you know something? Is it 10 years this year? YouTube was 10 years last year. Streaming, I don't really remember when I started streaming. And then my Twitch account must have some data, but my streaming history is a bit strange because I streamed on YouTube for a while. I spent like a couple of years streaming on YouTube instead of Twitch. Was it your intern and maximum multi-platinum recording artist? Drake. Ah, yes, everybody's favorite WoW mount. Back when it was an afternoon stream. Back when I used to stream 90 minutes, maybe twice a week. I used to do, what, Tuesday, Friday, something like that? Maybe that's why I used to make more YouTube videos, is because I only streamed for 3 hours a week. Forget how Drake got to be your intern. I also don't remember the details. But he hasn't shown up for work lately, so starting to think he's moved on to other things. Not that time. Oh, it's a Princess Bride reference. I don't know if I've ever like listened to the audio when he dies. I didn't know he said inconceivable.
What's your story?
Watched anything fun recently, or is your media budget full of Discworld? Ah, that's just books. I have begun watching the extended editions of the Lord of the Rings movies. And apparently, I forgot this. It used to be like a rite of passage as a teenager that if you were really going to prove to your friends that you were a real nerd, you had to sit through a marathon of all 3 Lord of the Rings films extended editions, which I've come to understand is approximately 12 hours of film. I feel like I did it at the time. I don't really remember whether or not I finished it. which is quitter talk. But now I got them again, and I was like, I'm gonna watch them. And then I like turned on the first one. I'm like, oh, it's 4 hours long. So I've been watching them approximately an hour at a time. Like I'll turn on the movie for like an hour, and then I'll turn it off, and then I'll turn it back on again some later time. I'm basically watching them as like a season, because otherwise I feel like I'm gonna fall asleep. Not 15 anymore, man. Yeah, it's quite nice. It's quite good. I forgot how iconic the theme music was for it. I don't know who scored the original Lord of the Rings movies, but they have like really, they really know how to hammer a theme. Also, the Gollum CGI is very impressive for given how old those movies are now. Howard Shore. How are you enjoying this season of Lord of the Rings then? It's quite good. I just started the Two Towers. It's I think I'm extra enjoying it because I somewhat recently reread the books. So I get to play that pedantic game in my head of like, oh man, that thing was different in the books, or like this character's new, or they skipped this character. I'm making a game to make that in my head for the most part. I'm trying not to be hyper annoying about it, but I remember more. I feel like I have an easier time following the movie because I'll see characters, and even before they've like used each other's names or talked about what they're doing, I like remember already what was going on because I just read it this past year. No way I can go without a night of sleep anymore. Body won't let me. I can't believe the things that my body let me get away with in my teens and 20s. Gollum CGI is more impressive than the Gollum video game, that's for sure. Went to an in-person concert of an orchestra playing the Lord of the Rings score. It was awesome. Do you take notes on how the movies are different from the books? I'm not writing anything down. I'm just noting them as the movie goes along. Man, last night was super cozy. The fresh bread, and then the soup turning out good. The chickpea stew that I made. And then like a big blanket and a sleepy puppy dog, and Lord of the Rings was just like the coziest night ever. It was so nice. When Moosey gets sleepy, he'll hop right up on the couch next to you, and he'll kind of like flump his big head down on your like leg or your knee, and he'll just snuggle. It's really cute. But then when he's feeling hyper, he will riot. I need to make some Moosey cookies. I need to make some more dog cookies because I need more compelling treats to continue training him outside. He's an angel inside, but he's difficult to corral when we're out on walks, and it's a lot easier if you have higher value treats. I need to make another batch of cookies. He likes those. When is Mr. Moosey's birthday? Will you celebrate? Oh, of course. At least I'll note it down. He'll get an extra special treat or something. I'm not able to like invite dogs over to my apartment. That is one of the things that is frowned upon in this particular building. You can have a dog, but maybe getting a bunch of them at once, maybe not such a good idea. But, alas, his birthday is going to be in May. He will be 1 year old in May, so he has just recently become 8 months old. Dungeon difficulty mythic, so he's still got a bit more growing to do. Birthday or like moving in day? Why not both? His birthday's in May. His gotcha-versary, so to speak, would be in August. We brought him home in August. I can't remember. I can't believe that it's been that long already. I also can't remember what life was like before the puppy dog. Partner also pescatarian? I am vegetarian. Partner is not. Find myself cooking almost 2 meals. Oh dear. Partner is not pescatarian, but eats what I eat when we're at home. If we have takeout or we order something out, then he might get something that's got meat in it. But for the most part, we eat mostly pescatarian at home. Or like, yeah, no, I guess I was gonna say if he ever wanted to have something else, he would make his extra thing, but he's never done that. In a past relationship, my ex would, if he wanted to eat like a meat dish, he would prepare it for himself. I think there was only one thing where I would like make an extra protein, and that was just like heating something up in the oven to go with the sauce that I had made. That is a really big thing of you to do to make 2 meals. That's worth big points. Remember reading the book after watching the movies. There was a whole spider sequence that was completely new to me relatively early on. They completely cut out the entire forest the entire Black Forest and Tom Bombadil and the Barrow Dens. You know, like in the movie, they just get to Weathertop and Aragorn's just like, yo, here's your knives. They're sick. And the hobbits are like, cool. Like there's a lot of stuff that they, and I'm sure there's good reasons as to why they removed those from the movies. I'm sure they, you know, the movie was still 4 hours long even without it. They were just really long, detailed books, but yeah, maybe Tom didn't translate super well to the screen. I love him though. He's so mysterious. It's like, who is this man? Why is he so good at everything? And how come he's 1,000,000 years old? What's the deal? He's very whimsical. Bombadil's a god changed mind. I don't know, I think I'm with you there.
Think you can stand against me, swine? Allow me to educate you.
He's gotta be a unique model.
Better touch my booty.
Kind of surprised we haven't hit instance cap yet. Would saved instances track that for me? Oh yeah, it does. So I'm at 7 of 10, and I think another one will become available in 11 minutes. Interesting. Yeah, 7 recent instances.
A job's a job, mate.
So if I get to like 8 or 9 and I want to kill some time, I could like take a break or you know, if I'm at 8 or 9, I could go poke around Halls of Origination, kill some time. They removed him because he didn't actually move the story forward. I suppose that's true. There's a theory that he's either a Valar, literal god, or Tolkien's self-insert. I would say lots of characters don't further the plot, though. Would I say that? I guess not. It depends on what we define as furthering the plot. Like, in the books, Bombadil saves them from certain death minimum twice, once with the tree and once in the Barrow Dens. Legolas and Gimli are like comic relief. Like, sure, they participate in battles, but so do lots of people. And you could say, yeah, they helped rescue Merry and Pippin, but first of all, they didn't. Didn't even make it in time, and then second of all, so did Tom Bombadil. What am I doing? I'm doing Freehold, that's what I'm doing. Wait, saved instances tracks that? Lead specialization, dungeon difficulty, mythic, very good. Ah, yeah. See, this is why the Season 2 shoulders are amazing. You can put them with other stuff and they look good. Same reason we have Arwen saving Frodo instead of Glorfindel. I also missed Glorfindel! Arwen showed up and did the whole thing and I'm like, that's cool and all, but like... I know, and I agree with everything you're saying, but I missed him. I thought he was cool. Just found out saved instances tracks your mythic vaults like last week. Always learning. I almost had a heart attack last night because the Discworld book that I was reading, I'm on the Pyramids book, and so up to this point, I don't think I'd read a Discworld book that was broken into like a book 1 and book 2. So I got to the end of book 1, and it started like, I got to the end of the book, and then it was showing me like the notes and stuff, and I'm like, wait, it's over? I just started this one! I'm not ready to be done with this character! What do you mean that's the whole story? And then I turned the page, and I'm like, okay, it's not. There is more. They've just delineated it. But I was getting all invested, and then I thought that Pratchett had just been like, you know what, I'm done with this one. They lived happily ever after. Next book. But he didn't do that to me. I was scared though. Good prank by Terry. Yeah, the mount can still drop from the last boss if you skip the other bosses. It's just a chance from the last one. Sometimes I do the other bosses if I need transmog from them, but otherwise there's no reason to. On other armor types, I sometimes need Mog. I have all of it for cloth. I'm missing a piece or two for plate. And then I'd have to check leather and mail. I think maybe for leather. I'd have to take a look. I actually forgot to check on barnacles.
Think you can stand against me, swine? Allow me to educate you.
I thought Discord would be too British for you. Too British? It's about a disc planet that's on the back of 4 elephants. It's on the back of a world turtle. I mean, some of the words are British, but that's true of like lots of novels. Hazel is not British. I am not British. I am Canadian. I have British grandparents and great-grandparents, which does not make me British. The humor is British. Oh, I see. I don't know. I feel like British humor is not that inscrutable. It's not like you can't understand it if you're not British. How is Canada not British? Because it's not England. I can't even. I'm going to port out of this dungeon.
Blood or gold, everything has a cost.
Are you British Columbian? I am from British Columbia. I suppose. This makes me neither British nor Colombian. We're zoning out. Okay, you guys confuse. I mean, I know you're doing this intentionally, but like, there's a difference between a Commonwealth country and the British monarchy. Something colonialism. You know the map you get from the Tuskar guy retrieving the rings? I wonder if I have to kill the first dragon boss before I go to the second boss. I wouldn't imagine so if you're farming it on a difficulty where... I don't think so, no. Because the ring would drop directly off of that boss. I do love Granny Weatherwax. Random Redger, thank you for the 41-month resub. Went through origination to jog the memory. Was this a scrapped raid? Place is huge for a dungeon. Here, I'm gonna see. I am 8 dungeons and I get another one open in 5 minutes. We can do this run and then I want to poke around Halls of Origination just because I want to remember it. Dungeon difficulty mythic. We'll do another Sharkbait chance though. Killed the second boss 15 times. Didn't drop any loot. You've entered about 9 instances recently and are approaching the 10 instances per hour limit. 4 instances should be available in about 4 minutes. So pumped for worldwide-ish dragon riding. Fugelfish, thank you very much for the 18-month resub. I like this map too. Gotta love a good blood feaster. You get snapped back to the bridge if you're still in combat with enemies that are back here. You get like a certain distance from them and they'll just snap you right back to them. If you wanted to avoid it, you would need to either not get in combat with them in the first place or kill them, which I sometimes remember to do. How is the weather in Canada? I live in Northern Europe. I have no more teeth to rattle in my skull due to the cold hell. I mean, it's, I'm sure you have worse weather than I do. Canada's one of those countries, though, that is geographically enormous. It is huge, and it has a really wide range of weather across the entire thing. However, we're approaching a cold snap here on the southern tip of Vancouver Island where I live, which means that we might get some snow in the next couple of days. We also had like a huge windstorm. Big areas went out of power. We had apparently like 100-kilometer-an-hour gusts of wind by the water last night. And like 2 days straight of wind. The wind seems to have calmed down now. Do you still need mailmog here? No, apparently not. Apparently not. Just plate. And here. Once I get out of combat, I can check. Also, I do not do very much damage. Come on, Harlan. There we go. No luck on the crackers. Yeah, so I need plate pants off of the Ring of Booty. And then I need leather off of Harlan. But it's fine because it's Harlan. It's the same boss that drops the mount. So it's just plate characters that I would want to do the extra run on. Oh, I can skin. I'm just outside Vancouver. It was snowing for like half the day 2 days ago. Everywhere here flooded, then froze over. We haven't had plus degrees in over a week. Oh. Ugh. Chilly. Rainy snow in southern Ontario. Friend's roof is leaking. Ooh, that sucks. As a representative of all Canada, what is Canada's favorite ice cream flavor? Moose Tracks. Well-known fact. We're zoning out. I actually really like Moose Tracks ice cream. That's pretty good. Okay, alright. We have more Freehold attempts, but we want to slow them down to let the instance cap catch back up with me. So I'm getting onto a character. And I want to go do Halls of Origination. Should I do it on a plate character? I want to do it on somebody that can get back to Freehold without a lot of drama. So presumably an Alliance character. Crinkle. Because she can also learn all the weapons. Just for a chance at transmog from there. I mostly just want to go poke around and remember what all the bosses look like. T-shirt reminds me of a guy who did street interviews with a wolf shirt on. Were the interviews about the shirt? I can't lie. Anytime any content of any street interview has ever come up across any media that I've seen, they're invariably awful. I don't think I've ever seen like a decent one that was funny or entertaining or like had everybody's well-being in mind. I'm going to... Where am I going? Oldham is what I'm doing. Well, but I'm right here. I am at 9 of 10 instances, but another one opens up in like 4 seconds. So I could do this dungeon, and then I could go do Halls of Origination. All right, sure, yeah. one more swing of Freehold. No, but that was his signature, is that he always had a wolf t-shirt on. One with good movement speed. Which streams have you collected so far? Very late today. Are we wowing successfully? We haven't had any mounts drop. We got a transmog drop. Your favorite mayo addict has arrived. Mayo addict. Are we getting the whole ring speech again? The ring speech. The Lord of the Rings speech? Not lying. I needed Mayo to be rebranded to me in order for me to enjoy it. I could not bear it as a child. But when I became an adult, and it occurred to me that you could rebrand Mayo as aioli by mixing it with salt, pepper, lemon juice, and a clove of garlic, all of a sudden I started using it as a base for sauces, for sandwiches, and now I kind of get it. Also, I don't do any damage. Probably doesn't help that I haven't used any cooldowns. The bounty ring.
Bombs away!
Oh, yeah. The Ring of Booty, that's right. That's right, that speech. I'm caught up now. I thought I had made some kind of a speech about a ring, and I was racking my brain trying to figure out what that could be. Where if you had like somehow noticed that I'm wearing a ring today. I'm wearing like a piece of jewelry. It's like, I don't know how you would have figured that one out. I mean, and there wasn't a speech. It's just jewelry. They only dislike mayonnaise when it's in other people's control. That's fair. Sauces can be glorious, and they can also be horrible if overdone. I'm the worst. So I have come to a point in my life where I will get a Subway sandwich and I will order it without any sauce. And I will bring it home and I will, out of my own refrigerator, put my own ranch on it just so that I can control how much sauce I put on it. Because I like Subway and I like my sandwich with ranch. However, the amount of ranch that they tend to put on it, not any particular sandwich artist, but like all of them, it must be the industry dictated amount, is like so much that I can't even finish the thing. So I'm that extra and obnoxious that I will literally take, like I won't, you know, complain about it or anything. I'll just like order the sandwich, bring it home. And then ranch it up from my own cupboard. And at that point, it's like, why don't you make your own sandwich? It's like, well, you know, like keeping tomatoes in good shape on my counter is more of an ass than it sounds like. Would you ever bring back baking streams? I would not make any promises. I'd never say never, but I also wouldn't get anybody's hopes up.
Gather round and place your bets. We got a new set of
I do have drops enabled.
Take it away, Gerthok.
I don't make my own ranch. I just like buy it from the store and keep it in the fridge.
Landlubbers.
As a pescatarian, what do you get at Subway? Well, not fish. I'm not brave enough to try Subway tuna. My sandwich is spinach, tomato, cucumbers, olive, and then ranch, although at home, with typically white cheddar or American cheese in America, and then Italian herbs and cheese bread. It's delicious. Vegetables. It's crazy. I'm eating Subway right now. Would I start baked streams? That would be a plot twist, wouldn't it? That sounds like the kind of thing that would happen to me. I try cannabis for the first time in my earthly life, and I decide that, you know what? This is my personality now. I don't see it happening, but you never know. Return of late night streams. I had a dream that I was live streaming from my phone at prom, which is funny because prom's an American thing. Like we had a grad dance that was basically the same thing, but we wouldn't call it prom. And my date was incarcerated. Unfairly, but like they were in jail. Professor McGonagall was detaining them. And I was like, give me back my date. It's prom. And she was like, maybe later. And then I had to go home to get my dress. But then my bike tire was flat, so I couldn't bike home. And then I was asking a dad who was walking with his two little kids. He was giving them like a biblical sermon, so I was asking him theological questions on the way home to get into my prom dress. It was a long dream. It would be super funny, not gonna lie. 200th kill of the Lich King. Hope I get them out. I can't run ICC anymore. I don't wanna. Let me out of here. Please.
A champion that sleeps with the fishes. Literally. The Freehold fanatic.
Oh, is he convincing? Not really. I enjoyed his conviction because in my dreams, this hypothetical Christian father was like being very calm and reasonable. It wasn't like a super fire and brimstone guilt-laden sermon. I think he was just trying to teach his daughters how to be like good people in like a loving and caring way, which was fine. And my question had something to do with sin and awareness of wrongdoing, like whether or not if somebody didn't know, it was something strange. It was about if you didn't know about recycling or like pollution, it was some kind of environmental thing, and you were using single-use plastics that were not recyclable, but you didn't know about the ocean. Is that still like a black mark on your soul card? Like, and if that's true, then to what extent do each individual's like fishbowl perceptions, you know, it was something like that. And I don't remember if he had like an answer for me. I just remember asking the question because he seemed like he might know. You lost me. No, I've never had a theological background. I am like many people a Roman Catholic that hasn't been to church in a very long time. I don't know where recycling is covered in the Bible.
Than you have opposed me, but they always came up short.
Ran ICC enough to have the Janus speech keep going while I defeat Rotgut. It's hilarious hearing them both together. Yeah, no luck with that mount. But you know what I want to do? I want to do Halls of Origination, but I'm going to take a short break first. So I'm going to take Crinkle to Stormwind via Valdraken, I think. And I'm going to take a very short break. I will be right back. Wow. Hi. You have incredible balance. I know you're a cat, but I'm always impressed. With the new green hair color, I wonder if Hazel could cosplay as her. No. What if we eventually had hair that was like all of the different WoW character hair colors? You could like really mix and match it. Get matching wigs for you and Kira. Kitty, do you want to wear a wig? Your fur is beautiful. You're perfect just like you are. You're good. All right, I'm going to Oldham for no reason, no good reason, I think you could say. I am just... Oh, also, let's check out the Arborworm while we're here. Arborworm. Auspicious Arborworm. Hi. Needs a green pigtail to match Crinkle. With the little cones. Yeah, it's cute. I want it to be able to normal fly. I'm hoping that's coming soon. Feral player is locked in. So if I wanted to go to Oldham, I want to go to Stormwind, and then I want to take the Cataclysm Port is what I want to do.
The waters flow again.
Hi. How you doing? Kitty, I need you to hang out in the office so I can vacuum the bedroom. I don't usually vacuum the room that Kat's in because she feels a bit cornered and she hates the vacuum. But she's been hanging out in the bedroom and it's getting dusty in there. And sometimes I hear you sneeze like 19 times in a row and I think I really need to vacuum in there. It's getting too dusty. Alright, so then we're gonna go out this way. Poor Crinkle just needs swords. She just needs two-handers so that she can do some damage. I should check and see if there's any cheap ones. Let's see if there's any cheap greens. Weapons, two-handers, filter by item level, and then kind of look. Yeah, so I can get 421. Oh, those are Agis. The Agi weapons are cheap. I could get these guys for 340 gold, and they are not unique equipped, so I could just buy two of them. 680. Yeah, that's probably worth it. I won't need it for Halls of Origination or anything, but... Moose doesn't mind the vacuum as much. He doesn't want to, like, you know, snuggle with it, but he'll mostly just kind of, like, stand up and stare at it and be like, why? Why has this creature come into my domain? Where is all my hair going? Defender's Claymore. Yeah, there we go. Those are some crinkle-sized swords. Oh, they're cute. They've got flowers on them. The flowers kind of look like underwater ones. They look like sea urchins. Whoa, that's a bug. Was that a random favorite mount? I love that they do this. What is that called? That's the Verdant Skitterfly. That's her new mount. It matches her hair too perfectly. Verdant Skitterfly. I love it. Oh, yes. Straight out of A Bug's Life. Doug does play Buzz, wants to play with the vacuum. Love to find out how Moose would react to a Roomba. Ah, so much green. Easily be a two-seater mount. I didn't realize they were so huge. You'd think I would have known. Like, I've had this mount for a while. I love the antenna. It's very... The curly, shiny antenna with apparently stingers on them. Which seems strange. Usually on the front of a face, it's like a sensory organ, right? I don't know. I'm not bug scientist. Anyway, I love it. They're so big. Have the green and the blue one. Oh, the second person gets carried in the legs. Yeah, one of them drops from expedition packs, and the other one I think is just off the vendor, maybe? Anyway, Hall of Origination is over there. There's also... Yeah, because I remember Lost City of the Tol'vir, because I feel like that one came up in the leveling queue an awful lot when you were leveling through Cataclysm Dungeons. But I swear the leveling queue never once put me in Halls of Origination. It's screaming to get let go. Meow. Maybe we'll get some transmog. Did we do it as a random heroic in Kata? I remember doing random heroic, like the troll dungeons when they did the troll patch. Also, there's gonna be a door to this pyramid somewhere. Last time I was in Oldham, I was farming the BFA assault mounts. I love this zone. I think this is so cool. I know we revisited it a little bit in 8.3 with Nyalotha, but I didn't like that version as much. That wasn't as much fun. Oh, it's a rare. I don't think it drops anything that I need or anything, but like, hello. Caw. You wanna fight me? Pretty birdie. It's like a hawk. Rot Feaster, the bug one, Corpse Eater, Corpse Eater. Yeah. Never seen that rare. Don't have much Desert Egyptian theme zones in the game. I mean, one's pretty good. I feel like this one is pretty, I mean, sure it's just the one, but it's fairly strongly desert and Egyptian themed. Oh, hey, look, it's the Great Worm from Beyond. Supposed to be a hunter rare tame pet. Oh. Yeah, it did not drop very much. It dropped me 18 coalescing visions. I wonder if I'm going to be able to access the dungeon portal. Oh yeah, it's still there. It's still there. How is our instance locket looking? We're down to 7 again, so we're okay. I just want to poke around in here. Imagine they bring this back as a key dungeon. So a normal / heroic. And is this mog for all armor types? Yeah. But I do need lots of plate from here, which is a fair plate and weapons. It's a fair guess because it's not like I played a lot of plate characters back at the time. So these guys did something. What do you drop? Some gauntlets. There's a leather belt I can mail for item ID. Why are you doing hauls? Because I want to remember it. We were looking through the dungeon list, looking at all the different dungeons that were called halls, and I came across Origination, and I was like, "Halls of who now? Hi." And I just wanted to remember it. This one kind of like fell out of my brain. It's got a pretty floor. I just want to look around. Maybe get some transmog. Fully in support of Blackrock Caverns is Mythic Plus dungeon. Yeah, me too. I like that one. I have some good memories of it. So this guy, you had to like jump down, and there were vipers, and there was like an orb or something, like a beam. I don't really remember the details. I wonder if I can just kill him. He's got 122k. Yes, I can just kill him. Achievement earned. I hate that song. Mail belts. That's kind of cool. Yeah, there's a giant elevator. Big skeleton guy in the desert area. That is Anrafet, who I guess is our next boss. San Marigar, yeah. The Blackrock Depths for Mythic Plus. Imagine the timer on that one. I don't think they should ever make like a marathon Mythic Plus dungeon. I'm fully in favor of them splitting them in half where need be. I want Archway back. Last boss, very interesting. The time mechanic. Archway.
Loads of forgotten knowledge are with right. Let's go.
Last boss at Archway was like running. You had to run a gauntlet, right? Like it ported you and you had to run back to get to the boss. Kind of Halls of Infusion style.
Oh wow.
Oh yeah, these floors were sick.
What? This isn't the control room. There's another entire defense mechanism in place.
What did I
and the
farm in
blasted
here?
rock trogs broke into
I
here
remember coming
somehow.
here and doing stuff in
Trogs.
here.
Why did
Was it
have
just
to
for
be
transmog?
trogs?
Was there a mount?
Okay. Let me think a moment.
I think you had to kill the 4 wardens.
Mirrors pointing all over the place. 4 platforms with huge elementals.
There was a monocle for the
Got it.
hive mind
I saw a
thing.
tablet
Don't
that
think there's a
mentioned
mountain
this
here.
chamber. This is the Vault of Lights.
Did I just do it
simple
for
enough. I need
gear
you
at the time?
adventurers to take out each of
Rep
the
with
4
tabards?
elementals to trigger
No,
the
you would have done
open
different
sequence
dungeons for
of
that. There were
our
better
door.
options. It's the tabard rep card. I think that tabard rep grinding should be available for like old reps that are older than a certain amount. I don't mind
Another
having to
one
do,
down.
you
Just
know, like
look at those
themed and
light
specific
beams.
things
They
and
seem
world
to be
quests and
connected
dailies
to
and
the
weeklies and
barn
stuff for
door.
like new reps. But I feel like if you're, once they're at a certain age, it wouldn't hurt to just let us buy a tabard and run some dungeons and just kind of do it that way. I don't know. That's just me. Nyalotha Vision unlock quest here? Maybe.
One
I
more
wonder if I
elemental
could drop
to
a
go.
chest piece that I
The
don't have the
door
appearance
is
for.
almost open.
Let's wait until we're within pre-patch. We're gonna be doing all of the old dungeons. I wonder how much Mog I'll be able to get. If I can get, like, if I have 37% of all the Mog now, can we make it to 50? 70? 94. I don't think I can make it to 94. Besides, plenty of Mog isn't from instances. Life on Mars, thank you very much for the 28-month resub. This may be the longest I've ever been subbed to a streamer. I feel honored that it was me. Thank you very, very much. I
That's
see a
it.
big red
You've
button.
done it. The vault door is opening. Now we can.
Yeah, that's right. That's a cool dramatic entrance. Oh, sorry. Sir, I'm not trying to look up your kilt. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm very short and you're very tall.
Besides normal operating protocols. Downloading new operational.
I'm like the size of his toes.
Download complete. Full unit self-defense routine.
His toes are
now active.
marginally taller than me if we're not counting hair.
Destruction of foreign units in the system shall now commence.
Look forward to putting you on in the background while I work. Always a relaxing, cozy time. Once you get into mid 90%, you get into the awful things like unique Mogs from Garrison invasions.
Unit shutting down.
Oh man. What's with the double drops? Same drop
We've
twice.
done it. The control room is breached.
And then I think this will take me back. Yeah. And then we can go up, or do we want to go right? I think I can go up now. Let me try the lift controller. I'm assuming that I was on the first floor?
Here we go. Now this should only
Oh.
take a moment.
Oh yeah! That's right, that's right. And there was like the life guy, and then there was the shadow one. That I remember this. Yeah, there's 4 bosses at the top. That's why there's so many bosses. That's right. Not sure if Kata Classic will bring back those memories for you. I started in Wrath. Kata was the first expansion I played from the very beginning, but I don't think I have any plans to play Kata Classic. I'm kind of happy to leave Kata back in the past. Sand boss guy optional.
The cycle continue.
Seedling pod, neck, and a ring. This guy has a weapon Mog that we could maybe learn. Yeah, I want to do all the bosses anyways. Besides, we're running up our instance timer so that we can get into a few more freeholds after this. Because this boss had some kind of a... What was the mechanic here? Obviously, I'm not going to see it, but... There's chaos portals. You had to kill the portal to stop extra void creatures. There was a void barrier. There was a prison. This would be kind of a cool... I mean, it's too long, but it would be kind of a cool Keystone dungeon. It would be awful and tyrannical just because of how many bosses there are. Do you ever buy uncollected mogs from the auction house? I do if it's cheap. Oh, I got the scepter I needed. I'll occasionally check the auction house for, like, the uncollected stuff, and I'll sort by cheapest. And if there's something that's under, like, 100 gold, I'll typically buy it. But I don't like spending big gold on transmog unless it's something really specific that I want very badly. I don't think we know what their long-term plans are with Classic. I am in the camp of people that's very surprised that they're choosing to continue it on to Cataclysm. I always figured they would do something different once they were kind of done with Wrath, but... So, not up to me. I think Season of Discovery has been very successful, though. I think they have lots of interesting things they could do with seasonal content. With like, classic anyway. Mortal sin to have the other thing sound off. It's just because of stream. And because I am one of those people that's like incredibly cautious about playing any sounds that I don't have the rights to, just in case it ever becomes a problem in the future. Right now that sound won't get you necessarily flagged for a copyright claim, but if that ever changes in the future, I would be in deep water if I had it in my last like 500 stream VODs. Oh, I got 2 pieces of transmog from that. I mean, I could change the sound to be something else. I could make an original sound if I wanted, I suppose. Sunstrike. That actually sounds kind of fun. I got this sword. And then I also got a Blade of the Burning Sun, which is this sword. Oh, that's kind of cool. I don't know if I'll ever use it, but I like the glyphs on it. It's got little wingies. I don't know if I've ever seen that one before. I'm gonna do Isoset. A lot of people that I assume never played Mop want Mop. Alternate timeline for Classic. 2020 for Dragonflight Classic. Do they ever, like, roll it back and just run them all again? It's like World of Warcraft Classic. Again! I'm sure they would come up with something else to call it, like Reborn or something, but, again would be extremely funny. And we want to kill Earth Ranger Ta. And then the last boss. Actually, maybe Earth Ranger Ta is the last boss. Send me down. I missed the second floor. What's on the second floor? Oh no, there's another floor. Bring it to the third floor? Is there somebody up here? Oh, it's just Bran. Hi, Bran. What do you want?
Inquiring minds just
Nothing.
got to know.
Lore. Okay, take me down then. I want to see the camel thing. Or is a quest ending here? It's incredible how much I've forgotten about BFA. I know that Cataclysm was a lot longer ago than BFA was, but BFA was not a crazy long time ago. And the Visions was the last patch of it, right? Like, That 8.3 was just the final BFA patch. Maybe I just didn't engage with it. No, I did. I definitely did. Maybe I just did it once. What's a Scarlet Polypore? Restores 800. It just gives health back. It's like a food. I'm eating it. BFA, fun and underrated. I thought it had great zones and collectibles. 8.2 was the most packed patch I've ever seen them do in my entire life. That you've done the clock quest more than once, so I would understand. Yeah, patch 4.0.3. There's a shield he could drop me, apparently. He chose not to, but we got an item ID for the chess piece. And now it's over. That's the end of it. Interesting. So what's in here, then? Lore? Quests? Enormous statue? Teleporter. You can try to relive nostalgia by running around Najatar on a ground mount for an hour. True. Yeah, it's a teleporter. Alright. So... well, my Hearthstone's still on cooldown. Just log out. Maybe clear a little bag space. Ooh, I've got all kinds of cloth stuff that I can... I've got all kinds of mogs that I can mail for item IDs. Leather, leather, leather. The dagger I can just put on. I know it would learn if I equipped it, but don't worry about it. That's leather. I'm looking for the checkboxes that have a little circle around them because that means that's a new item ID I could learn if I mailed it to a different character to equip, or vendor, I suppose. Oh man, the outside's a long way away. Never mind. We can just do this from in here. See you later, kitty cat. Send mail to her. And then, Inksy can take the boots. It won't teach her a new appearance, but it's just one extra item to take off the list of things that I could learn from a quantum transmog piece. Can I mog it is putting the checkmarks on the items. Kata back in the day was controversial. A lot of the Kata content was for leveling new characters. The main controversy that I remember from Cataclysm was that was just that when it came out, the dungeons were tuned to be so challenging, and people had gotten so used to the end of Wrath of the Lich King era speedrun smash through like a random heroic that queuing into a random heroic in Cataclysm and then being like, wait, you want me to talk to strangers and coordinate CC did not go over well. I enjoyed that thoroughly. I thought that was very funny. So I should be able to just vendor them straight and then get those item IDs. So if we vendor them, yeah, a bunch of new item IDs. Good. Eventually. See, this wig kind of matches this character a little bit. Maybe not the style exactly, but... eventually, she's going to need to get set up to PvP and shuffle and grind at the Vicious Mount, because the current season Vicious Mount is so beautiful. Vicious War, the Vicious Moon Beast. We need it. I should start that journey sooner rather than later. I feel like I have all the time in the world, and I probably don't have all the time in the world. I have some time. Tanks went on strike. Haven't started PvP either. I have this struggle every single season. I tell myself, you know, the smart thing to do is just to do a little bit every day, and that way you won't have to do a crazy amount on any given day. But, it's not usually how it ends up going down. So yeah, this dungeon could give me leather head and shoulder mogs from Harlan as well as the mount. But only if I'm lucky. How's our instance luck looking? We're down to 7, so we can run this a few more times, and then the next one will come up in 6 minutes. Our wings warmed. They're warmer than not wearing hair. Kind of feels like wearing a hat. Druid stealth, so nice. Mount looked like it had one of those giant crab thingies from BFA on its head. Which mount was I from? What was I wearing? I do like stealthing. Health and 80 PvP for Conquest. I need more of the set that I want. Maybe Transmog will convince me to start PvPing. Maybe if I look at the sets and I see that it's like beautiful. It's the aspirant color. That's actually pretty cool. Oh, welcome back, kitty cat. Hang on a second. I can't decide if I'm gonna sneeze. I've acknowledged the sneeze verbally and therefore vanquished it from existence. I can't be the only one that has that experience. That like, if I have to sneeze and I say that I might sneeze, 80% of the time it goes away. It's like frightened of attention. This is the season 3 set. The season 3 set. Why did I think it was the other one? I guess I just hadn't looked at the Druid and Mirror Soul stuff. That's the season 3 set. I'm not as crazy about that. I mean, the shoulders are cute. They've got like little owl faces on them. I don't think I would ever wear the helmet. Or like the chest piece. The kilt's kind of, the bottom's kind of fun. I like the little forearm feathers. It's Moonkin-esque. Any luck? Ooh, I got the... Nope, no luck. Never mind. New Twitch drop next week. Grim Campfire toy. Is it... Do we know if it's a new toy or is it a re... I don't recognize the name of it. Is it like an old TCG item? Drop next week. Oh. Hi. Hi. Sorry, Kitty. Sometimes I wonder if she's upset that my hands are cold. I feel like she must be. She gets, you know, she doesn't like being cold. And I know she has fur, but like if I'm warming my hands up with my cat, then theoretically my hands must also be chilling my cat. Works both ways. TCG. I don't think I had it. Kitty, so baby. You are. I have the nicest animals in the whole world. I'm really lucky. They're the best. Hi, sweetie. Did you ever get the 4th Soul Inhaler pet? I sure did. I did. Looks so bad. Thank you for the 10-month resub. Hazelwick on Hazel. I need to, I mean, needs a strong word, but I want to take like a, I was going to say a curling iron or a straightener, neither of which I own. I want to, or maybe just like a hairbrush and a hairdryer. I want to put like a tiny bit more curve into the bangs of this one. The other one has bangs that are like a tiny bit more blown curved. And I want to make this one match, although I might shrink them then because I didn't do that before I cut them.
Many deals for a friend of the Grummels, like you.
My puppy dog, I went and visited during the break. He's so sleepy. He gets so smooshy when he's tired. He's so cute. He's like an angel at home, and he is occasionally a little bit of a menace when we're walking. It's just, there's a lot of really tempting stuff in the world that's all much more exciting than walking in a straight line. So many things. Petal Bloom has 10,000 gold? Since when? Oh, Sinister Squashling. I haven't cleaned up her bags in ages. I feel like Blood Boil is not valuable. Let me check on that.
Friend of the Grummels.
No, not valuable. We're just gonna delete that. Make that one go away. Why doesn't she have Auctionator? This is awkward. Yeah, so any uncollected, usable, cheap transmog. Yeah, we've got some 80 gold Jadefire pants. I can learn those. What else are we saying? That's an Island Expedition reward. I'll buy that for 300. And then that is a world drop. Fine. Fine.
If you find anything exotic, bring it to me.
There's always more transmog to learn. If I ever run out, then I'm gonna have to come up with something new to do on stream. But I feel like, I think it's almost impossible. Like, I would have to stream a lot more if I ever wanted to get anywhere close to transmog completion, because even just keeping up with new Mog as they come out with new patches, if you're trying to do it on all armor types, that's like an aggressive challenge. Maybe it'll go easier once War Within comes out, but I don't know how realistic that is. I would have to stream a lot more. How do you store them? I have wig stands, just the little cheap plastic ones that click together, and then I just pop them on the stand and then into onto a shelf that is in my office so that it's not subject to any extra like light or humidity or anything. I'm also very new, so I'm not a wig expert. I've been wearing wigs for what, 2 weeks? Since less than that. I am still learning. I had my traditional Hazel Google's new thing for a while phase. Mythic tints are the big pain. You just kill a pet? It was a blood boil. It was a blood boil. I'm farming for a mount, but if I can get anything else that I happen to need along the way, I'm down for that. But I'm farming for the Sharkbait mount from Harlan. God help you if you're trying to collect all class sets and tints. But what if... I don't even have all classes. I don't even have a mage. I haven't even leveled my monk. Molly Wobble is only level, what, 13? Whatever it was that we left her at. Yeah, I guess if you're trying to complete transmog, Trading Post would need to be counted out. I can't even keep up with all of the Trading Post pets and mounts. Like, there's just not enough tender to keep up with them. You could maybe make like gold making goals and spend your gold on tokens so that anytime that they offered a shop bundle that had extra trader's tender, you could buy that with your token gold or your gold balance from tokens. But I kind of don't want to encourage them putting tender onto the shop, so I'm sort of not buying those sets whenever they're available, just out of, you know, a one-person vote with my wallet kind of thing. I seem to remember a streamer who reached their goal of collecting 100% of plate mog. I heard about that too, but I don't remember the name. They said they're not going to do that again. I think they're not going to do it again until they feel like people have forgotten about it. Am I weird that I want this year's Trading Post will have more old stuff than new stuff? Tender economy is daunting at the moment. I was kind of hoping that at some point I would feel like I was kind of flush with Trader's Tender stuff because I'm doing the Trading Post every month. So I felt like, you know, oh man, I've been playing for X amount of years and I haven't missed a month. I have all kinds of stuff. And I mean, it's true that if you don't miss any, you'll have stuff, but it doesn't feel like you're anywhere close to having a lot of it. Maybe every month there might be like one thing that they're bringing back that I already have, but like they bring on new stuff so often. Not sure Jess ended up getting 100% plate. I think she got super close. Shocking number of rogue-only agi daggers. Do you think WoW has too much stuff? No. I think that adding cosmetics is one of the most harmless ways they can add more things to do in the game. I think that it's possible to become burnt out on collecting the things or to feel like you're a bit like saturated. Like my pet collection feels like I no longer feel as excited to get a new battle pet because when you have 1,700 of them and the shine kind of wears off a bit. But I don't think that means they shouldn't have added more. I don't think, anyway. It's a good question. February's gonna kill me. I'm so broke on tender. Too much filler. The horse recolors in BFA. Just in my own personal opinion, I'm not too fussed about recolors. The place where recolors irritate me is if the recolor is a reward for something that's really challenging. So like, remember when they were going to have a mount collection meta mount for like a really high number be some kind of very underwhelming recolor? That was, I mean, they changed it, I'm pretty sure. And that was a good change because that was kind of disappointing. But, any luck? No? Okay. Recolors are just extra options. And especially when they're cosmetic and they're like, I don't know, nothing says that you have to pursue the recolors, but maybe somebody really likes a purple one when they didn't like the green one of that thing. Like, I think that it's not fair to assume that if they didn't do recolors, each of those mounts would be taken up by a completely brand new, unique model. So having more options seems like a good thing to me. But not everybody is ever gonna like every mount that they ever do. The Yeti mount, it was an ugly Yeti recolor. Yeah, that thing. I definitely felt some disappointment over that, and I'm pretty sure they walked it back. There is a point where you snap and realize you don't have to own everything in game. You can get things you really like, and that's okay. Absolutely. BFA horses also got new polygons though, which was nice. The BFA horses were really pretty. Gave us an otter instead, which is cool. That's how it went. That's right. /SI show. So we are at 7. So we got 3 more of these we can do, and then a 4th one will open up in 2 more minutes. Yeah, I should be able to do all of my freehold attempts in one stream if I pace them out correctly. Pya 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 soda, thank you very much for the brand new sub. Appreciate it. I wonder if Earthen are going to come out, and I'm going to be way more into them than I expected. That happens with me sometimes. I've been known to have that experience. Wish they would add more Ravenlord reskins. Yeah, what's an example of a mount? There's a good question. What's an example of a mount that you wish they would add a recolor to? Like, you want another color of an existing mount. I know a lot of people are asking for Brutosaur recolors, even if it didn't have the vendor, so that people that wanted to just ride a Brutosaur could have a version of it. Outside of that, I want them to reskin the water rabbit. And this is a bit more than just a recolor, but I want just a fluffy, white or brown or gray rabbit. I just want a bunny. I want a bunny rabbit that's not trying to be anything but a bunny rabbit. Red Rabosaur, please. They have an orange Brutosaur, but we can't mount it. I would like Mechanome armor for all 3 tints of Mechanome, not just gold. That's a good one. That's a really good one. More sabers, more griffins. Could never have enough. HD models of old mounts. What's an old mount that could use like a really good HD reskin? Because they have been going through and adding HD models of a bunch of them. Like horses got one, sabers got one. I feel like wolves and wargs maybe have had a few different updates. Although like have they ever added like a super HD model of like the original orc warg mounts? That's hard to say. Orc warg. Forsaken horses got... I mean, I love Forsaken horses. That's my favorite, like... Also, I have no AoE in this character. Honeyplum needs some gear. Honeyplum is struggling. Is Honeyplum spec'd into anything at all that is AoE? Does she have an earthquake button or something? There's chain lightning. It's helping a little bit. Is that it? Is that her only button that's helping? Good grief. I don't think they're going to take this shaman away from me. The Earthen Ring is going to see this stream VOD and be like, she is not qualified to drive this shaman and may not continue to have that character. Top right. I missed that. That would have been good. That would have helped. I'll see if I remember that for next time. Here, let's put that on that button. I feel like I'm spec'd out of stuff. But I am spec'd into Earthquake. I've also got... Oh, it doesn't matter. Yeah, this is Elemental. Another color for the Firehawks would be cool. So I just need to get to the end. Just for a Sharkbait chance. That's all she needs to do. I bought her a staff. I bought her an int staff because her damage was so bad before. She was at a level like 350. This was like a very fresh level 70 that didn't get any gearing treatment at all. That I bought her the weapon just to see if that would help her damage. It doesn't appear to be doing wild amounts of help. So we need some Maelstrom. So that we can put down... Oh, at least Earthquake is instant. Although, it doesn't look like it really does very much damage. Yeah, it's probably better than nothing, though. Yeah, that is better than nothing. That's helping. I need to gear up some of these characters just so they can be better at Freehold, for heaven's sake. Still waiting for a duck knots. Racial mounts are the closest to an ostrich we get. I think that the Hawk Striders are ostrich adjacent. No, the Tall Striders. Like the Dark Moon one and the Spring Strider. Those are pretty ostrichy. Magic Rooster would be pretty good. Like these guys. I mean, mind you, there's not like a whole lot of feathers going on. I love these things. I think they're amazing. Those got like a beautiful HD update. I think they're great. I kind of want one as a hunter pet now. Speaking of things that we want in other colors, I want Mechanome's Mecha Eyes to be other colors than just blue. That would be a good custom. Mechanomes in general. Gnomes and Mechanomes could all use some more options, but that would be a good place to add some more options. Imagine being able to make like a disco rave Mechanome.
Opposed me, but they always came up short.
I genuinely need more gear in this character to do this. It's not entirely Honeyplum's fault that I don't know how to play her. We're lava bursting. It's helping. RPG Gamer Mechanomes, yeah. Need to recolor the heritage armor. No luck. Teleport her. I might see if she has 10,000 gold apparently too. I'm making like tiny bits of gold just from vendoring these things as I go. I might see if I can buy her any more just like massive upgrades for a couple hundred gold. Hello, happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday, Festy. Forbidden Reach BOE tokens. Yeah, I could probably send... Oh no, I must have done it because she's wearing some of them. She's wearing 385s in some slots, so the ones that she's missing must have been slots I didn't have any for. Sounds true. Let me see. Armor, usable, mail. Let's see. So she could get... too expensive. What about and then she's got 376s. It's not like she's wearing nothing, but some pieces are really bad. Her rings and her trinkets. So maybe like miscellaneous rings. Rings have to be expensive, right? Yeah, these are all over 1,000 gold. I bet trinkets are the same way. Any cheap trinkets? Oh no, there are cheap trinkets at least. Are there any cheap int trinkets? That's Agi. That's Agi. That's a strength one. There's a cheap int trinket. I can get at least one of them. Just for the flat int bonus over these ones, and then Dancing Dream Blossoms, but that's a bit expensive also.
If you find anything exotic,
you know, heaven forbid I actually like play the character or anything. There we go, 379. Got my infinite mount for my first time walking dungeon. Feels good. Congratulations. That is insanely lucky. Holy moly. I would like a carriage multi-seater mount. I love this transmog. I just like that he's got snacks for somebody. So the Community Guild, the Viewer Guild, is on Lightbringer North America. They are Alliance. I believe they are accepting members. The guild that I play in is a private guild, though. All right. Yeah, we're down to 7. We could catch up on these a little bit. Boy has a little bit more item level, so I think he's not going to get stuck for quite so long clearing through this. My Infinite Time River is kind of tainted because the run I got it on was rough. It's a Mushan Palace run where I was top DPS and heals and the tank. I mean, you really earned that one. That's funny. Anytime that I'm doing a dungeon, like I'm healing a dungeon for some friends, and it's one of those runs that just everything's going wrong, I tell them that they're really making me work for my cookies. Oh. Also, I'm still waiting for my cookies. There's free cookies to be had. I'm at a deficit. I need them. But I'm glad that I got lucky and got the Time Raver. That grind doesn't sound like it's worth my life. I need to send that to a character that can equip it. Oh no, this character could equip it. I forgot warlocks can use swords. Always trips me up when I see someone from the Illidan Squirrel Squad. There's a couple of guilds that have names that sound very similar, as well, that I'll do double takes at whenever I see them. Do you have a favorite cookie? Mine's oatmeal chocolate chip. When I was a teenager and young adult, my favorite cookies were these like chocolate cookies with white chocolate chips, and you made them with using a chocolate cake mix. Like you would get like a fudge chocolate cake mix, and then you would mix it in a way that gave you cookies, and you would put white chocolate chips in them. And that was like my favorite cookie ever. They were called friendship cookies. I had like a recipe that it was a photo from a book from a friend. Anyway, they were delicious, but now that I'm once I got past like 24, 25, I couldn't really eat them anymore. They're just really, really sweet. So now my favorite are gingerbread cookies. I love gingerbread cookies. So I need those shoulders to drop for me on a leather character. I still have gingerbread cookies that my mom made in my freezer. I never actually ended up making and decorating my own batch of gingerbread cookies at home because I got so many from my mom that I didn't need to. Squirtle Squad popped up recently. I was obsessed with shortbread cookies with tea. Now I find them too rich as an old person. That was something that I didn't know would happen to me when I got older, was that you could lose a sweet tooth. It's not like it's a bad thing. Like, I'm sure it's better for my health to not... And I'm sure I still consume plenty of sugar. It's not like I don't eat sugar. But, I don't know. I used to really like super sweet things when I was a kid, and I assumed that I always would. It's not true. Now I'm at the phase of my life where I just like cheese. Not necessarily healthier, just different. Opposite. Didn't start liking sweets until college. If I'm gonna have a sweet thing now, I want it to be small and I want it to be really good. No cheap candy. We want... And I feel like creamy things hit better than super sweet things. So like a really nice tiramisu is life-changing for me. I love that. But it's like, you know, it's like whipped cream based basically. And there's more like bitter flavors there too. You've got like the coffee flavor, you've got some bitter cocoa. You'll have like, what is it? Mascarpone cheese. And that part's sweet, but it's not like cloyingly sweet. Funky cheeses are the best, gorgonzola and brie. I agree with you, except that I disagree with your designation of brie as a funky cheese. I think that brie is an incredibly delicate, mild, even plain cheese. It's delicious, but funky? Nah. Brie is one step removed from mozzarella. Recently started liking cherry/cherry flavor after disliking them my whole life.
Shockwave.
Cherry/cherry flavor what?
Watch your feet.
Night Flame. Night Flame's living his best life. Maybe he'll get the leather mog to drop. But now that you've mentioned that, I do kind of want brie. Brie and crackers with fruit. You get a plate, and you get like some nice... Oh, we had these grapes this last summer. Somebody knew somebody that was growing them, so they were like local grapes, like from someone's garden. And they weren't like those super sweet seedless candy things. Like they had seeds, but they had so much flavor. They were so good. You put those on a plate with some cheese and crackers. Oh, man. I like putting gorgonzola in mac and cheese. I love a little bit of a user-friendly blue cheese, like a gorgonzola, melted into a cheese sauce for the sake of mac and cheese. That is some good stuff. It's only 11:19. Oh, it's 11:19. That's fine. Once we're less than an hour away from lunch, I start talking about food. I don't think I've ever had port wine cheese. No, what's it like? I need to make a pizza, but my bread machine has been occupied lately making bread, so I haven't had it free to slap a pizza dough into. Smoked Gouda.
Think you can stand against me, swine? Allow me to educate you.
Phase
And
2.
see, Night Flame is only 386. He is not that different in item level from my Warlock or my Shaman even.
Phase 3.
But he's a demon hunter, so he just blows things up. Who needs gear?
Better touch
You know what?
booty.
Hazel, stop! My lunch break's still 45 minutes away. I know that feeling. So how are we doing on our instance block? We're up to, yeah, we got time. We can do more. Let's log out here. Oh no, we don't log out here. That's right, we poured out first.
I'm all in.
I love having characters parked out front of an instance. It just makes the whole run feel so smooth. It does mean I have to come up with something else to do for the rest of the week that doesn't move all of these characters. Oh, but it's just so convenient. Very sharp, almost in the cheddar family. Has port in it. Oh, kitty, are you sleepy? No. Like the green? Why? Thank you. We have, I think, only 2 characters left that need to run this. If you have more alts, you don't need to worry about moving the mount farming ones. True. Maybe I should do Legion class order hall mounts. That might be a good project to start. Well, that's a cute transmog. Legion class order hall mounts. Because they would count for like my Data for Azeroth mount score. Even if I don't ride them. And some of them are like super cool and they're easier to get than they used to be once upon a time, I think. Recently watched your Why I Shaved My Head video. It convinced me to do the same. I hope you're enjoying it. I still like my super short hair. Don't worry. It's still there. It's also, I had it dyed for a little bit of time. I had been dyeing my buzz cut pink for a while. And it's not pink right now. It's brown again. Because I shaved off the dyed portion and I haven't recolored it since I've been wearing wigs. But as I've been watching the natural color grow back in, I have what I perceive to be a shocking amount of gray hair for somebody that's 31. It's not like it doesn't read gray if you just look at it on camera or like from a distance. But when you get close to it, it's not just like, oh, there's a couple of them. It's like thoroughly salt and peppered. I know that genetically I've been graying ever since I was like 14, so it's not super surprising that I have more of it now, but it's a bit jarring when I look at it because I'm like, oh, hey, mom, is that you? It just looks a lot like my mom's hair. Define shocking. Shocking in that I felt shocked when I saw it. My own personal experience was to experience shock when I like looked at it and I went, wow, that's more than just a couple. if you tried to pull out all of the gray hairs, you would have a noticeable amount of patchiness. I do have all of the island mats.
Taller men than you have opposed me, but they always came up short.
Watch
It's just
way.
when it's just salt that you know you roll. Apparently hair color has a pretty big genetic component and also a pretty big stress component.
Phase 2.
Not that my life is hard, but my body doesn't know that.
Watch way. Watch your step. Phase
Blast
3.
these scurvy dogs to bits.
My 50s, my beard is mostly gray. Very little in my hair. Stream of gray in the front of my head. That sounds kind of cool. No luck with the mount. Harlan Sweet looks like a Kulturian cross with a goblin. Do you think anybody would play that model if they made it available? I think somebody might. I think it's possible.
Greetings, sir and or ma'am.
I can't wait for gold to be account wide. Not have to shuffle it around to a bunch of different characters.
Ah, it's you.
49. Beard has a good amount of salt in it now. Used to bother me. I've come to accept it. People think it's died. Mostly one spot in the front right. You're also quite young, aren't you? Like, you're under 25 as far from what I remember. I feel like that's more likely to give the... Oh, that's, you know, like your anime character vibes. I don't think anyone here thinks 49 is old. The drops are enabled, but here, let me check to see what the dates are. I thought they were not yet. Here, let me look at the announcement. Grim Campfire Toy patch 10.25 drop on January 16th. We've got 6 more days before that drop starts. So the command is true. There are currently no drops active. There will be in another 6 days. I should set up a link to have that info though. $26? Yeah, it is. Really? It's like free hair tinsel. I like that, Haley. I'm keeping that. I got lots of free hair tinsel. Friend in Italy who went bald by 20. Yeah, hair genetics are all over the place. Ripsy, why are you here? Yeah, well, I must have hearthed her, or like left her in the instance or something.
You'll find no better in the city.
Does she have anything she can get rid of? Learn for another item? So with the green, if I want to learn the item ID, I have to equip it. It's just the grays and maybe the whites that auto-learn when you've entered them. That's annoying.
Service.
Oh, rumble foils. And a coin! Should we turn those in? I'm assuming that the Warcraft Rumble things aren't going away at any point, because I certainly don't have all of them yet. Sector the time, now I just fully shave it, rock the Kratos look. It's definitely low maintenance. I also think it looks great on a ton of people. I think there are plenty of people that say they could never do super short hair or no hair because of their head shape. And I think it's completely subjective, so certainly there's nothing that says they have to like it, but I think a lot of people say that when it's not necessarily the case. There we go. My Yev. And then, get a new look for it, maybe? One day I'm gonna have these done just by virtue of very, very slowly collecting them. Sorry to have to delete any Rumble stuff. Do you now always match your hair to your character? I wasn't planning on it, no. Especially not if I'm going to play all my characters within one day. It's just kind of a fun coincidence when it happens. We're going to Champion. You may not have a word with me. I'm leaving. I'm busy. I'm going to Freehold. It's the hip happening place to be, and I've got one more chance this week for the Sharkbait mount. Thought about just dyeing my hair silver. I thought about platinum hair's really pretty. It's a big dye job though, especially if you have. It's not so bad if you had like light hair to begin with, but if you had naturally dark hair, that's a lot of lifting and toning. When I was browsing wigs, I saw some like silver wigs or like platinum wigs that I thought looked pretty cool, but I also think it might look quite jarring on me because my natural coloring's not super fair. Or my hair color is not super fair. It's like a medium dark brown. It's not black, but it is not blonde either. What are we doing? We're going to Oribos. Or not Oribos. Borealis, that's right. It's the surprise wig barnacles hair. Oh, man. Oh, that would be something. I'm surprised that we haven't had any Sharkbait luck. Or a Borealis. Going to Bora Bora. Ah, yes. List resort. I would ride. I mean, I should ride a parrot there, shouldn't I? I should ride a different parrot because we have two others. There's. Of course, they can't be just called parrots. That would be too easy. Type, sources, family. Uncheck all, birds, parrots. What other filter has killed the parrots? Where are they? I know I have more. I have the Island Expedition parrot, and I have the squawks. Oh yeah, squawks and quacks. That's right. Here, let's ride quacks. Forgot that they named it that. There we go. We're just looking for the third one. Platinum, super high maintenance, even for me with naturally lighter hair. BFA dungeon mounts are a weekly lockout, I believe, because you have to do it on Mythic for a mount chance. You could, if you wanted more chances, the move is to slam as many Dawn of the Infinite keys for Rise as you can, because that will have a chance to drop the Quantum Courser, which can give you these mounts, as well as other dungeon mounts if you're missing them. What's her item level? 380. Basically, that seems to be the general item level for my fresh 70 characters, because I sent them like a handful of Forbidden Reach gear, which is pretty far behind now. And then they'll have a couple of pieces that are just completely outdated. It more or less gets the job done. I wonder what it's going to be like to level alts from, what, 70 to 80? New end level in War Within. I wonder if it's going to... how long it's going to take for something to make it fast, or if they're going to be more forgiving on that from the get-go. I don't mind it taking a while for the first character, but it would be awesome if there was some kind of alt catch-up for 70 to 80 leveling after your first character, but like within the first patch. That would be kind of neat. Usually I end up spending the entire first, if not second patch of an expansion with most of my alts just like 10 levels behind, or 5 levels, or whatever it was. Just because endgame leveling takes a long time. Dungeon difficulty, Mythic. Spam dungeons with AI followers. That might be the move. It's not a bad idea. Sure, there'll be a catch-up called Level 80 Character Boost. Yeah, could be. Is this... I think this is my last chance for the week. If I look... 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, and this is going to be 17. Yeah, this is my last character that I have leveled up that can try this for this week. For me, the catch-up's called Time Walking Week. That might be how it ends up going. So what we're saying is that I need more than 17 level 70s. It's not enough. And in order to really brute force Sharkbait, we need more. Sharkbait is mythic only, I believe. Heroic cannot drop it. So you're on a weekly lockup for this one.
Think you can stand against me, swine? Allow me to educate you.
This week is coincidentally time walking week. I'm torn between getting... Well, no, I'm not. I was going to say between getting more gear for some of these 380s to give them a comfier time farming versus... versus just leveling more characters. But I think the move would be just to level more. Especially when leveling is so fun. You get no transmog while you're leveling, too. Any shark baits? No shark baits. 17 chances. No shark baits this week. That put us up to 105 tracked attempts. Certainly more than that untracked. Oh well. Nothing. I got a couple more transmog pieces. Let's take her out aside of the instance, and let's take a look at my character screen. And maybe Simple Armory, and figure out what else we want to do this week, because Sharkbait mount attempts were one thing. Sharkbait mount attempts. The Abyss Worm from Mistress Sassy and Tuma Sargeras is another thing, but the problem with that is that means I have to move all these characters away from the Freehold entrance, and I kind of want to leave them here until we get Sharkbait, because I can't be bothered to fly a bunch of characters around. So, with that in mind, what is
Not
it
everything in the ocean
that
is
I
as
want to
good-looking
do?
or nice-mannered as
There's
I am.
options. Filter, uncollected, usable, buy cheapest. Could buy some of these things for transmog / for gear. 2 birds, 1 stone. It's 600 gold, but it's also a big item level upgrade. Oh, sure, get the one with the socket.
If you find anything exotic, bring it to me.
Do an island expedition. I mean, it does sound a little bit fun. I mean, I know I need transmog from... Actually, I need to keep wearing these, that's right. So that puts her up to, well, 385. Nothing crazy. I know I need transmog from Seedbloom, so I had some notions about doing the Seedbloom weekly
That would scare
on
you
my
shellers.
70s that were geared for it. Not a bad idea.
Come back with some better.
Let's transmog anyway. But I want to farm mounts and pets. But it's not like I'm going to be any more motivated to do Emerald Dream transmog after it's over. Can I Mog It is showing the collected items with check marks. Level 3 Legion, do the Order Hall campaign. And at max, just do the mount quest for maximum efficiency. That is true. Are you just going to leave Ripsy unmogged? I know, I kind of regret it now that I've logged off of it. I wanted to see one thing. If I go to the Emerald Dream, I want to check the world quests real quick. I'm keeping an eye out for clause for concern. But also, I do need more Seedbloom log, and the best way to do that is probably going to be to keep doing the weekly, right? I believe the Can I Mog It checkmarks show in all the things. Wait, no, not that portal. Not that portal! I have a really bad habit of going through the Time Waste portal when that's not where I'm going. We want this one. I can't believe that it was that comfy to get all of those Freehold attempts in. I thought it was going to take me more than one day to do it, but apparently not. Hammer Dream. Worthy ally. Sure. So it's like down there. So the world quest is not up for Blulu.
What brings you here?
This should be pretty easy though. I should be able to just kind of do a quick lap and plant a handful of seeds. I also apparently still need champion legs, or cloth legs and feet from the world boss. So you can make an argument for doing that, I suppose. You guys farm world bosses for transmog?
This new foe is too powerful to face alone.
I mean, I suppose it doesn't take very long.
Gather what forces you can find and remove this threat.
I've signed up as a healer and I don't plan to heal.
This new foe
I'm the
is
worst.
too powerful to face alone. Gather what forces you can find.
Tama's
and remove
Dragonflight
this
Helper
threat.
is the profession checklist. It's quite nice. It's the only way that I ever managed to keep up with my profession knowledge at the beginning of the expansion. I just need to pick a goal.
Charging.
I need to decide if that's Legion class order mounts. Is it the Rat Stallion? Is it the Surf Jelly?
Keep jumping.
No, not the Surf Jelly. The Pond Nettle, pardon me. Maybe it's Rat Stallion. I would feel good to check that off the list. I've had that one half finished for a long time. Or at least it was partly done. Underbelly Tycoon is the name of the achievement. Oh, not half finished. 1/4 finished, apparently. So not super far along.
Charging. Move.
But you don't necessarily need PvP. You can actually pet battle that one. Mind you, not very quickly, but there is a blind rat that spawns, and you can pet battle it, and when you win the pet battle, which is pretty easy to do, you can get some sightless eyes for that.
Move.
Which is especially nice if people are fighting you for rare tags and stuff like that. Or like the wand that you use, like if you have the wand that you use on the rares to make them drop more eyes, but people are killing the rares before you can use the wand. The nice thing about the fishing and about the pet battles is that there's not a whole lot of outside interference. So I got a dream seed, and some crests, but no luck with them. No luck with the transmog we needed. Rat Stallion Farm's kind of fun. Pressing one button to buff a raid must be nice. Yeah, it's pretty good. Love your streams. Relax, chill, cozy. Thank you very much, Maros. Benefit to using Shadowward Pain versus Vampiric Touch. I mean, you want to have both of them up. With the current set bonus, you are able to dump your set bonus damage into single target with a Shadowward Pain, I believe. But you generally will have a talent. And Shadowward Pain's instant cast, whereas the other one's a cast time. But you usually have Misery so that your Vampiric Touch also applies to Shadowward Pain. So most of the time you would press Vampiric Touch. Hopping in then and there, hoping for the big chest to be up. It's the oldest character in your account. My DK is turning 15 this month. I don't think I have any characters from the beginning of my account anymore. Formula Illusory Adornment Dreams. Oh, it's an enchanting formula. I don't know if I knew about that. Enchanting? That's not like a actual weapon illusion, is it? Temporarily imbues shoulders. Yeah, nobody wants those. Those are not good for anything. Any PvE this season? We did ahead of the curve. I did ahead of the curve with my guild. I did that as Holy Priest. I got my main to 2700. I timed all the 20s. And then I did a couple of alts through normal Amir Drasil. I did a BM Hunter and I did a Resto Druid. And I did a Blood DK. And now I feel like I'm done. I feel like I'm pivoting to collecting now. I feel like I've kind of seen as much of the season as I want to. Is Hazel a pumper? No, I'm a healer. I am the support staff for the other resident pumpers. They are out there fixing the plumbing, and I am supplying coffee, cakes, and prayer of mendings. I'm a holy priest main. My hunter kind of cranks though, because BM is cheating. BM is so much damage and you don't have to do anything. It's great. I need to plant some seeds is what I need to do. I'm so tempted to do those dragon races. They're just looking at me. They're like, Hazel, there's 500 gold. All you have to do is just go click on it. Can start Dragonflight while waiting for SOD phase 2. It's funny, I was thinking of starting SOD to catch up to phase 2, but I couldn't. I don't know, man. I'm torn. My heart's not all the way in it. You should be able to get AOTC all the way up until Season 4 starts. And that, I believe, is when it would become unavailable. Because 10.25 doesn't end the season.
I sense enemies lurking too close. Our owl friends can help flush them out.
They nerfed Furak. Yeah, I heard the I haven't done it since the nerfs. Tonight I'll do it again because we're gonna do a heroic clear tonight. But I heard the dispels are not so aggressive, which sounds nice. We were doing fine with them, but you know, your dispel finger gets tired. Wait for me. Click. Yeah, a flame shouldn't go out nearly as often as it had been. Hype for solo self-found, but SOD does nothing for me. I'm trying to get into SOD, and it's kind of fun, but I get kind of... I don't know. I'm extremely back and forth about it. I'm very wishy-washy. It's, I'm sure very frustrating. Plant one more seeds. It's okay. You can call it boring. But... just because I don't like something doesn't mean it's boring. Doesn't even mean that I'm bored. I just have a hard time. My attention and engagement seems directed by some, I don't know, cosmic being that's not me. I feel like my attention waxes and wanes in things and seemingly at random. So either I'm into something or I'm not. And sometimes I'll be into something for a while and then it's gone and then I just move on to whatever else Siren calls. Doesn't feel like it's up to me. I don't want to do that world quest. I would love to loot the seeds that I planted that are done, just in case they drop transmog, and then turn in the weekly and then use the seed bloom to buy another piece. I'm getting the leather set first, I think. I have most of it, so it would be nice to finish it.
Has been driven into a dangerous frenzy.
Doing the seed weekly on a bunch of characters seems like a pretty reliable way to collect this transmog. Obviously, it could drop directly from the green pieces, but yeah, who's got the time for that? When I think about joining them, I always feel like I'll have more fun gearing another alt. It's nice that you only have to level to 25 right now instead of farther than that, but even with that said, I don't know. I might just need to give it more time. Maybe I'll stream it. I don't know. It wouldn't be forever. It would just be for like a week or so. It'd certainly make more leveling progress if I leveled it on stream. I'm a warlock. I'm a warlock. In SOD. It was also the class that I got farthest in hardcore, so I felt like I knew the most about it. And my friends really need a tank, so the theory was that if I ever scraped enough interest in it to be a contributing member of the team, that I could tank. Oh, nice! I needed those. That saves me from buying them with the bark bloom, or with the seed bloom. And it's one of the pieces from the set that I'm collecting. Bark bloom war leathers. It says 1 of 9, but I know I have more than 1 of 9 of those. Like to see a VOD of the raid clear? Oh, I don't stream my raid. Lots of people do. Lots of people do. I bet you there are streamers that have, plenty of streamers that have full VODs of them, but I do my raid off stream. I used to stream my raids many, many years ago in Warlords of Draenor, but I found it made me not a very good streamer and not a very good raider. And I'm also not a member of like a streamer guild or anything. Like people that are there are not there to make content. They're just there to relax after work. So it didn't seem very fair of me to broadcast it publicly. No luck there. Okay, let's go turn that in. Meta is fun. Yep. Is it? It might be. I don't know. All I have right now is Haunt. I've been dying an embarrassing amount. I think because it's not hardcore, I've been extremely careless because I'm like, well, it's not hardcore. It doesn't matter if I die. But then I die and I'm like, I've lost a ton of time because it can take forever to run back to where you were if you still needed more things out there. I've been quite reckless when I've been playing Season of Discovery. So that contained 1,400 gold and cloak I can disenchant. But the real thing that I want to do is turn in this, open this, disenchant the other cloak, and then use that seed bloom I just got to buy a bark bloom, not the bracers, because I have those in my bags. The belt, I think, and then see how that works. Let's send it to Barnacles. The sash and the wrist guards. Spooky Snacks, thank you very much for the 46-month resub. 46 months, yay! Woohoo! Party! I think I'm winding down in advance of need food restock. I had oats and blueberries for breakfast and they were delicious, but they don't last you all the way till lunchtime. Strat for Classic is to not touch classes that I play in retail. That's smart. Sometimes I like to look at a class that I play in retail just for like the curiosity factor of like, I wonder how different this was back then. But I think you're right. I think I stay more... I think it's easier to kind of get into it when you're not comparing it against a modern version of how it works. Okay. Barnacles is probably gonna... Yeah, he needs to do his own Seed Bloom weekly, doesn't he? He can get back out here. He's Barnacles. Like the nostalgia of playing Classic Warlock, minus how expensive it is. Expensive? In what way? Kitty's so sleepy. It's one spicy chicken. You like it? Barnacles in Moonkin form looks a lot more dangerous than he actually is. He's like one degree separated from Big Bird in terms of menace. There we go. Yeah, we completed the Bark Bloom War Leathers set. And it's beautiful. It's magnificent. It actually looks really good on him. I like that a lot. So if he went and did the Seed Bloom Weekly, he would get... He could maybe get another weapon or something. He's got hot, pun intended. Oh, paying for demon spells. True. True. Big Barnacles. Alright. Give me the Seed Bloom thing. Because this weekly is really fast to do. Especially if you have, even if you don't have seeds. If you've gotten your rep maxed, either on this character or a different one, you can just buy seeds in exchange for, you can get like the small dream seeds for 100 supplies, and that can kind of make it a lot easier. Does Barnacles need any transmog from the world boss? I don't think that he does. Look at how much mog he needs from everywhere else, though. Oh man. They even left a gap for his tummy fuzz. He's gotta let it breathe. If you never let your belly button lint breathe, then what if it gets mildewy? Nobody likes a smelly belly button. Actually, that's not true. I'm sure there's somebody that very specifically, deeply loves a smelly belly button. We've got to calm down before we get demonetized. Never mind. We're moving on. We're moving on. I'm just saying there's something out there for everybody. Not me. I guess another reason to do the world boss would be for the free seed that you get every week. Is there anything good from doing the Super Bloom weekly collection-wise once you've... Oh, I don't even have a... It's not going to help me at all. I'm out of blue seeds. I feel like there's... Once they don't need the veteran gear anymore... Here, actually, I can answer this question with all the things. Super Bloom, quests, cache of blooming treasures. There's transmog. It just takes so long. It wouldn't... You just gotta time it, I think. You gotta pick up the quest. And then you gotta show up, like, roll into the Super Bloom at, like, quarter after the hour when it's almost over. And then just get your 50 bloom real quick.
This new foe
Snipe
is
your
too
boss and
powerful
call
to
it good.
face alone. Gather what forces you can find and remove this threat.
Super Bloom seeds and rep weeklies all have unique transmog tints, and I hate that we can't buy it. It does seem like aggressive to try to farm them all. That's a nice tint though, that blue from the Super Bloom. So I have the quest reward ones, and I have the Emerald Bounty ones now, which took some doing, and I think that's the nicest color. World drops. Oh yeah, the autumn stuff. And then yeah, Super Bloom. But like that's, if you get like one chance per week and you get a random piece and you can get dupes, oh, that's tough. Especially when it feels like I exclusively get capes from that. I'm gonna heal just because heaven knows I'm not helping if I'm damaging. That bizarre week of oops. Hollow capes. Was that just like bad luck for me, or did Blizzard make an oopsie and everybody got all capes? 6 tappers and 1 character that week. Bam! Oh, don't mind me, weak whores. They're obnoxious. They get the job done though.
Bam!
Oh, also I have no mana whatsoever. I can innervate myself later on if it becomes a problem. But because I like switched specs at the last moment, I started with like completely empty mana. This add-on is it's a weak aura, but it's using the same sound file. My earphones just died, so you guys have to hear it and I don't. Haha!
Bam!
Don't know if it was an official Blizzoopsy. All of us were getting capes. Oh yeah, he can be a Moonkin. Although he lost his keybinds. He can be a Moonkin in resto form. Excuse me. Oh, I have a wrath button. Thanks. There's a Fire Mage out on basically every crit bam, and of course you heard it in TeamSpeak. Capes and tabards. The tabards I feel like was a thing because as a cosmetic, it was weird that it was giving people tabards. Like you just got a tabard every time you walked by that vendor. They just wouldn't stop handing them out. That I feel like, I don't know if they ever confirmed it, but that had to be a bug.
Your efforts have brought us together in triumph.
I feel like there's always like a completely capped purple seed right here. Getting all the mounts I thought was going to take way longer than it turned out to, but you know, you just kind of buy them with seed bloom and then they're done. Hello, all you lovely people. Hello. How are you? We are wrapping up quite soon. We're wrapping up pretty soon. I always know it's usually time to go when I run out of battery on my earphones. These things last basically exactly the length of time of like a traditional Hazel stream. How many mounts do I have? Somewhere in the 800-ish range. 843? The number will be a little different depending on what source you're looking at, but Mount Drill Enhanced says I have 843 total out of 927 possible. Which means I'm missing like 80 mounts or so. Okay. Speaking of wrapping up, see if you can say bye to the kitty cat you see here. Here she is. She has been cozy like this for the entire stream. I would like to thank you all very much for joining me today. I had a lovely time. I'll be back tomorrow with a Thursday morning stream. I don't know what we're doing yet, but we'll find something. May or may not be Season of Discovery. We'll see. I appreciate you guys, and I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye.